All right, so we're back for another video thing here. It's another month in the year. That means it's another time to sit down and chill out and discuss and talk about the pods that have been collected over the past month, which in this case, we're in the month of what April just started. We're talking about March, though, because that's the
Mm-hmm.
month that just happened. So that's the rules. That's the way of life. But we got the movie section to start off, which, I mean, Peter, do you even have a singular
I
object here?
have one
You
singular
have one. Holy
pod that I
shit.
can talk about.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I have four, I guess, and then an additional one for in a later section thingy.
Hmm.
But for right now, I could just talk about this one film that I saw recently, which was Man on the Run, which is a Paul McCartney documentary focusing in on his sort of Wings era, where after the Beatles he uh, did some solid solo career stuff and some not so solid solo career stuff. And I admire that this documentary sort of goes into that and doesn't shy away from like the idea that Paul is like this perfect being and he creates only the greatest bangers that have ever existed in music. Like he has some hiccups, he has some weird moments where he's figuring things out, and he has some moments where he's like still sort of riding the high of the Beatles, where he's like, I don't know, it's more of like that. I guess me reading into it, that mindset of he thinks he could do no wrong, even though he's like fucking around. But like the Paul now, I think he's talked about this documentary and stuff, and he's been like, yeah, I was doing some weird, not so ideal things just in terms of the music creation stuff. Not all the songs are bangers, but a lot of them are quite good. And that's what I again like about this documentary. It's not like sucking him off 100% of the time. It's going into like the here's him being silly sort of stuff. So I liked it quite a lot. It was very well made and very well paced and edited. And I appreciate it existing. Theoretically, we would get one of these on the other members, I guess.
Each of
But
the members,
Paul
yeah.
probably has the most in depth solo career because it's gone on for so long. And
Yeah.
it's the most, it's probably the most prolific, or like he had the most success solo. Part of that is
I would
because of the
agree.
sheer
Yeah.
quantity of songs and albums. And again, he's lived longer than the other ones. The only other one alive is Ringo, which
Yeah, he has
he's
an
made a lot of
unfair
albums too. I don't
advantage.
know if too many of them are the greatest thing ever. But I enjoyed this documentary. If you like Paul, if you like the Beatles or whatever, I would recommend checking it out.
Sounds cool.
You want to say your thingy?
Sure. I can talk about the singular movie that I watched last
Mm.
month, which was Project Hail Mary.
Yeah,
Big,
yeah,
big
yeah.
space movie that came out recently from Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who also directed Lego Movie and 21 Jump Street and a bunch of other like weird kind of cult classic films. Um, this one is adapting a novel that I read and discussed recently by Andy Weir, who also wrote The Martian, which was
Mm-hmm.
also adapted to film. And this is also a sci-fi film, but not. It's in a different way. This one is a little more. I mean, it's not a spoiler to discuss since they've announced it in like every trailer. But there are aliens in this movie,
Okay.
so it's a little more of like a funny, like happy-go-lucky one. I have conflicting feelings about this movie. There are some really interesting points of comparison to take with the book, considering I've now read and watched this story. And as a book, it's all like hard sci-fi, like a ton of words discussing like scientific and engineering concepts and trying to break it down for an audience and making that super engaging and gripping. But that doesn't really work for a movie. Like you can't just talk about a million of formulas and like how you calculate the uh, amount of gravity that you're producing at when you're creating a spaceship that lies in a centrifugal force. It just doesn't really work. So they translated all of those, blocks of text really well into just visual depictions of things through either. There will be kind of moments where you're getting him talking to himself or talking to an alien, and it'll make it a lot easier to follow based on kind of breaking down the nitty-gritty explanations that are found in the book. I think it's interesting because the book, like the appeal of the book, is those kind of mini lessons on scientific principles, but by adapting it to screen, you kind of just have to miss out on that, and you're forced to adapt it in a way that shows and doesn't tell. But the way that the movie kind of gets around losing that is the fact that it has incredible visuals, really great sound. It has like a really accessible and mainstream story. It feels very much like a big kind of summertime blockbuster that they would have made in the good old days. But I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way just because the humor is so like grating and unnecessary sometimes. It's like super like sappy and just like sometimes joking when there shouldn't be. It's like there are plenty of moments where you have like
Marvel humor
really
type shit almost.
It is. It's written in such a way that it's like kind of self-aware, and like Ryan Gosling is a great actor, and he has like enough charisma to really carry this movie with a lead performance that is largely solo. For large swaths of this movie, he is kind of just talking to himself. But beyond that, it's hard to hate this movie. It really is executed very well. All elements of it are really polished, tangible, and impactful. It's just that I think in general, when I'm looking for a sci-fi story, I'm looking for something a little more existential, a little like more interesting, and this one just didn't really offer that in either of its formats for me. Unfortunately, considering that both the book and the movie are like some of the most popular things in the world now. It's insane to see on Letterboxd. It's already 110 of all time movies. What are we talking about? It's at 4.3 with like 50,000 ratings. I mean, hey, I'm glad people are liking it. I'm glad people are loving it. I just really can't relate, unfortunately. Just something there that I found lacking.
Yeah, I would like to check out this film at some point. I don't know if I'll read the book and take that dive. I mean, did you do it for book club? I forget.
I did. I picked it out specifically for book club because I'd heard good things about it,
Mm-hmm.
and I knew the movie was coming out. So, I mean, I had fun as it was like a bit of a project to go in and experience both formats, and I enjoyed my time. I just wish, I guess, that I had stronger feelings about both of them. I was a little underwhelmed by both movie and book, but I'm glad it's getting as much recognition as it's
everybody
getting, I guess.
disagrees.
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah. I'm the odd one out in this case.
What do you think? Why do you think that is? Is it just because like a drought of semi-decent things?
I really
creating
don't
like
know.
this weird sort of stream of people hyping up the mid. You know what I mean?
But like,
That's like a theory. In my
as
head.
far as like, good films coming out each year, last year had like plenty of good ones
No,
that
yeah,
I
it's
would
a matter of
think
like,
are much better than this
Oh,
one.
yeah.
And like this one is getting at much more hype, I guess, maybe because it's early in the year. It's like one of the first big releases, so people are getting hyped about it.
yeah.
People like Ryan Gosling, I
People-
guess, and like people really like the book. So if you liked the book, you will probably, honestly, it's interesting because I went to this with another person who has read the book, and then I watched it with someone who hadn't read the book and hadn't like watched any trailers or knew nothing about this story. And the one who went into it blind thought it was like one of the best films he's watched in like a movie theater recently. Like, and then the one who had read the book was like, I didn't really like it because they kind of lost elements of the book that he really liked. So it's interesting. I'm not
and you're sort
really
of stuck
sure.
in the middle there, as not really a huge fan of the book.
Yeah. They both offer interesting things. Each, succeeds in ways that the other fails at. It's just an interesting kind of companion piece to the book. And, it proves that adaptations are a very complicated thing to get right.
Oh,
and
100%.
no matter what, like how good certain elements of an adaptation can be, it's really hard to get something to succeed to such an extent where it stands alone from the piece that it's adapting, but also it's good enough to be held like in esteem. So, not sure if that's what we're getting here, but according to popular opinion, it really is.
People love it. We'll see what I have to say, and then that'll determine the epic ultimate final decision, because it's just the average of our opinions. It's just whatever the truth is.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, that's your single movie. I got a couple more to bring up here. This next one is one that, Peter, you've brought up in the past. It's quite the film. It's called Emilia Pérez. I finally witnessed it.
Really?
This was the
first time you watched it?
Oh yeah, it was the first time I watched it. It's it came out 2 years ago now, and it was. Did it win some sort of set of Oscars? The Zoe Saldana won Best Actress.
Yes.
Did the songs win the best?
I think it got
sound
one
original?
of the songs. Yeah.
Or one of the songs won Best Song of the Year.
At the Oscars.
It won some awards, and it was nominated for a lot too. And it was a very polarizing film in terms of the like user ratings compared to the critic ratings, where the critics were like, "Oh, this is the coolest, greatest, most epic thing ever," and then like normal people were like, "What is this absolute garbage?" And I gotta say, I would definitely lean on the side of it being doo-doo. I don't like hate it as much as some people, but I definitely don't think it's like a great film. I mean, like the aspects of it that I do like, I guess, is the choreography and sets during the musical scenes, but the actual like songs themselves, like the way they sound and like the specific words. I mean, there's that one about like the actual like her talking to the doctor to do the trans procedure. Just like the lyrics are just so like, what?
Yeah.
Who thought of this and thought it
would
be like
iconic.
Good? It's such like it's such a weird out there. The story in general, I guess, but just from like that song perspective, it's just why, just why, it's like I can't even articulate anything else. Just why would you say it that way? I think it's reasonable and interesting to do a story about this, and I think what Your Movie Sucks was saying about it, and specifically about like how people would complain about how it's like villainizing a trans person is bad, but YMS was saying that, it's actually humanizing them by saying, they're just as capable as doing bad things as the rest of us, which I do think it's better to lean into the humanizing aspect rather than glorifying for any sort of people, because when you glorify one group, you're also doing the opposite for like the other set of people. You know what I mean? And I like to judge people based on their individuality and how they behave or whatever. And obviously the character displayed in this is a very out there, not very nice person. And it's obviously going to take offensive measures in the form of them being a very underrepresented just character like type in fiction. Like it's not something you see super often. So if you do fit into that category of people, if you are trans and you're wanting to see trans representation, you're obviously going to hope that they are a good person and doing good things and not doing the like mafia, mob boss shit that the character in this film is doing. Since I'm not that, I could like maybe not necessarily believe it a little bit more, but I could accept that idea and just like the whole, oh, this person of this group is going to be good in this film, and maybe in this film they're like a person who represents them is bad. You know what I mean? Like, there's no equal, like, oh, every single person in this group is evil and every single person in this group is bad for that sort of stuff. But anyways, the film itself, though, again, it's very out there and it's very weird. The songs are not good, even though it's a musical, and it's just annoying to listen to. I think to actually watch it and like the scenes going on, it's like decent looking enough visually. But I definitely understand why a good number of people find it offensive. Again, I'm not necessarily in that group that's like getting offended at it, because I'm not super on that like mindset, or like I'm not even represented in this film really. Like I don't remember if there's a single white dude who does anything. I mean, maybe. But
One of the doctors, maybe.
No, yeah, I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, it's not good, but it's very interesting. So I don't,
Yeah.
you know, I hope to not see it again ever, because it's not that interesting. But it like the discourse around it at the very least is interesting.
Yeah, that I will. It's been interesting to see as far as like Oscar campaigns go. This one was like one of the bigger ones in recent memory to have like a significant smear campaign work against it, because like they were winning a lot of awards throughout the kind of award season. I think they probably picked up. I don't know all of the different awards, but
Sure.
I know that
It doesn't even matter anymore.
the lead actress Carla Sofia Gascon, she did win
Okay.
like a pretty big award, and then it came out that she's like I don't know, what was she, racist or like
Oh, in real life? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
no
like
idea.
she had
That was another
old tweets
controversy?
resurface,
That's
and
not
yeah,
good.
yeah. So yeah, it was a interesting campaign for this movie. Didn't so much work out because it was under such heavy scrutiny. Audience members continued to like watch it, and you know it really under the surface, I don't think that it was a really good movie either. It's interesting because it's like it's competently created, but the story is just an absolute mess, and the overall construction of it is really messy. And then the fact that it's a musical with music that sucks, it's a choice for sure. It reminded me a lot of Joker 2, which I think I brought up
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I
we
was
talked
talking
about
about it. It's just like why put it as why make it as a musical?
I feel like at
And
least this one was visually better, because like the Joker Folia
yeah,
was so boring with the musical sequences. Like it did nothing interesting with those.
yeah, not even the choreography or anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
so this I guess has that going for it.
One leg up, but still, it's in many ways it's worse, I guess.
Yeah, definitely lessons to take from both of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. So that's that. I finally checked that off my list. I have seen Emilia Pérez.
Yeah, thank God.
Wow. Yeah. Anyways, this next one I have to talk about is an actual good film. It's called Look Back, and it's an anime film. It's an adaptation of what's his name, Chainsaw Man, dude. Original writer Fujimoto. That's his name.
Yeah.
Tatsuki Fujimoto. So it's based on like a volume or short story or whatever he made at some point. And it's about two girls who like drawing comics in school, and it's just about their friendship and them growing up and getting pursuing careers in manga. And there's like some interesting twists that happen along with that towards, I guess, sort of the midpoint. And then maybe about like 2/3 of the film, it takes like this complete unexpected trajectory where it like almost views like an alternate universe type situation that like is utilized to expand the like main existing story thingy there. It's really fascinating the way it's able to like handle this sort of story about like childhood and nostalgia and growing up, and whatnot, and uh, just from like that sort of unique perspective. And it's very beautifully animated, and it's only an hour long, and in that hour it's able to accomplish like in half the time it's able to accomplish double of what the average 2 hour film is able to accomplish. And it's again very nice looking and very emotional, and just very nice in general. And I would definitely recommend this stuff, I guess, especially if you already like Fujimoto's stuff. I mean, this one is, I would say, a bit more approachable than Chainsaw Man, because it's less weird, and also it's literally only an hour. Like it's the most approachable like film in general, right? Because it's so short. So yeah, it's nice, and I would recommend it.
Nice. I've definitely seen this like either in manga form, or I've seen like clips from the movie. I've never checked it out though. But maybe I'll have to.
You
He's
have
been
to.
He's been getting in some hot water as a writer,
Yeah,
considering that
from the ending.
Chainsaw Man
Have you read
just
the ending?
ended.
I have not
I've
yet.
not read the ending, so I don't know what's going on. But
I'm not caught up
I
with
know
it
the
either.
fandom is
In shambles.
in shambles right now. So.
Was it the ending to just part 2, and he's doing a part 3, or was it the ending just in general?
That's a good question. I think it's the ending. It's at least the ending to part 2. I don't
Right.
know if it's going to continue now. So I guess when
We'll have to.
eventually
Yeah,
check
spoiler
that out.
alerts. I got no book updates because I was not reading shit. So I'm still behind on pretty much every manga
Same.
that
Yeah,
I've been reading.
been a long time.
Damn. We'll have to catch up shortly someday. But yeah, that's Look Back. It's good. Go watch it, but not now because you still got this YouTube video to finish. Next up, I got on this film list. There's this one that came out very recently. It's called Mercy, and it stars Chris Pratt as. It's it's really really bad because it relies upon Chris Pratt the whole film, the camera shoved right up his face, him talking for like the whole time, doing the investigation where he's like calling various people to like on his behalf check things out. Like if this feels like a COVID movie, this feels like the War of the Worlds uh, film, which I saw that maybe 2 or 3 months ago now, which I never brought it up because I just didn't have like I felt like I didn't have too much to say that was different from most people. Like, oh yeah, it sucked ass, and it was sort of funny sometimes. This one sucks ass, but it's less funny than War of the Worlds, where it, like there were many parts of that film that were quite laughably bad, and this that made me laugh maybe once or twice. But it does remind me a lot of that, where it's that COVID movie style of every person is in like a separate room from one another, recording on like a different set on a different day, doing a different thingy. Like it, because Chris Pratt's in this room all alone, and then Rebecca Ferguson is like the moderator judge person is like on a screen at a totally different place, and then he's like getting on calls with people who are also in totally different locations, and just like the whole thing, it's like, was this shot in 2020? Like, what's going on? Why is that? Whatever. Why are we not doing sets anymore? Did you think that was a thing that you should be doing because COVID happened and because War of the Worlds came out? You're like, oh, we could do that. That's actually not a bad idea. We could have everybody be separate, and we could. The producers are like, they love the idea of that because they're like, oh, we could stretch out and not have to schedule everybody on the same day. We could have Chris Pratt on Monday, Rebecca Ferguson on Tuesday, whoever the fuck else is in this movie on Wednesday. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a producer's wet dream of scheduling and budgeting. So I guess they decided to do that, and it sucks so much ass. Because again, it's relying upon Chris Pratt's dramatic acting, which he's not the greatest at. I do like him in more comedic roles, I guess. And like the Guardians films, for example, he's able to handle the comedic parts and the when it does get dramatic slightly, he's able to do those well enough. But for like a film like this where they're trying to be super serious, it just does not work at all. And the whole thing feels like a big fucking joke. Honestly, it was just annoying, sort of, but it made me laugh once or twice. So, I mean, I would definitely recommend seeing War of the Worlds on more than this, because at least for like a bad film, it's more entertaining and funnier. This again, it makes you laugh maybe once or twice, but it's not nearly as entertaining, unfortunately.
It's so interesting because I'm looking at this film and
Yeah.
it's produced by Basilev's Entertainment, who did like The Searching and Missing and also The War of Worlds. So I think they like that kind of I don't know, like the single, like you're on a screen or like
Oh
a single
shit!
room
Yeah,
paper
I just pulled
where
that up.
you're like,
Also, it's all the same fucking films.
yeah,
They're all on the
Unfriended.
screens and shit.
They all
Oh
do
my
the same
God.
thing. I don't know why. This is just what they specialize
funny.
in. Because I
Oh my
think
God, that's
Amazon did like
Yeah,
most
yeah,
of the
Well, there's
producing
this
for
is
this one.
produced by the Amazon MGM studios,
Who
which
The
also
War
did
in the Worlds,
Project
yeah.
Hail Mary.
And also did Project Hail Mary. Project Hail Mary is their most successful movie of all time now.
Damn.
So
But
yeah.
the most popular one on Letterboxd still is Challengers.
yeah,
Which I guess was done by
they've
them.
got some quality.
Yeah, but that's not them. That's all Luca.
Absolutely. But yeah, Mercy. I've heard about this. I've heard that it's like has some like weird like AI apologist ending. where it's like, oh,
100%.
the AI has
it's very
feelings.
like
It's
War of the
like, what are
Worlds
you
felt
talking
like
about?
that Amazon
Yeah.
Amazon
Mhm.
propaganda, where it's like the delivery drivers, like the hero or whatever, 'cause he
Yeah,
delivers
they
like an
can save the
Amazon
world.
package that has like the
Mhm.
fucking batteries or whatever thing that was in it, like that they needed to get the specific to stop the War of the Worlds. Yeah, this has that exact same fucking type of thing where it's just propaganda, and it's not. If you recognize something as propaganda, your takeaway should always be, that's not something that I'm gonna like.
Yeah. No
I
matter
don't
how
enjoy
hard
seeing
you're trying
that.
to force it. Yeah,
So,
I've heard this movie is also like just hard to watch, as in like the editing is like it's all like smash cuts or like kind of like whooshing loud noises or like it just makes it like a pain in the ass to watch.
yeah, I don't think the editing is very good either.
Nice. Glad that you could check out such a
Oh, yeah.
incredible movie.
I had to. Okay. Next on to TV shows. I got one item.
I got a couple, but they're all discussions of what we're continuing.
Oh,
JJK.
yeah, because the season did finish. We could talk about that, because
finished.
I finished 3 out of the 4. I did not finish Strange Fake. I'm like 3 episodes left on that, but I did finish
Okay.
the other 3 I was watching. Which one do you want to talk about first?
It's JJK.
Ooh.
It's sick. It's the season has
Yeah.
finished up and
That was nice.
it's incredible. It's so cool. I mean, it's people are like Shibuya arc, that has to be peak, and then season 3 they do it again, and it's just like it's more experimental. It's more interesting as far as animation goes. Yeah, I think this is gonna go down as like a pretty important season of anime. I think just because it feels like it's doing something new.
Yeah.
And it found a lot of success through that. So hopefully that is a trend that can continue forward in the animation industry. But
Yeah, this show
we've
was awesome. This season of it.
been glazing it a lot.
Oh,
for good reason.
100%. For the past 3 episodes. But it
Mhm.
has to be said, because it's awesome. Because, yeah, there's that, what we didn't talk about last time, there's that court scene, their courtroom sort of fight battle thing. That's sick. And then you follow that up with, like, the whatever fucking Sasuke equivalent guy's name, I forget. He summons the things. There's, like, fighting on the interior of the building, and then going outside is, like, this bigger sort of environmental fight where, like, the random objects and the environment shit matters more than like other fights in the past. And then you get like the fight at the end where it starts off as like a 1v1 followed by another 1v1, and then it becomes like a 3-for-all, then a 4-for-all, and then like it ends with the 2 fucking characters shooting big laser beams at each other, and it's like the best.
It's so
It's the best
peak.
version of that trope, I feel like, that I've
No,
seen.
And it's animated super
Oh
well.
yeah,
Like the soundtrack is banging throughout.
yeah.
You get the title drop, right? Like the title theme drop.
Sure.
Yeah,
No, yeah.
it's great stuff.
But like it wowed me still each time because I was saying like
Mhm.
the for like the first half of the season I was amazed by not only how good the fights are but how diverse they feel from one another, and it just continued throughout the rest
Yep,
of the season.
every single one. Hmm.
And someone I forgot to mention about some of the earlier episodes. There's the episode where they dedicate a big part of it to explaining the rules, and there's I feel like there's so many other like story things that would. Okay, we had to stop there for a sec because I was hit by a lightning strike on my Wi-Fi and power and everything. But anyways, as I was saying, my point was that like there's a million different uh, like scenarios I could see for other stories handling like the lore dump explanation, explain all these rules, but like none of them were displayed in an interesting or like as interesting in a way that that this show did it, where like through its direction and like I don't know shot composition, it was able to like form like a dynamic and interesting scene there, rather than just being like a boring rule one, rule two. You know what I mean? I don't know if you felt
Yeah,
that at all, but
because essentially that episode was just 20 minutes pure exposition, lore dumping the rules of the encounter, and like you said, it's told in a relatively engaging way. It is definitely my least favorite episode of the
sure.
bunch,
Well, because it's got
obviously,
no
but
epic
it was
hype
always going to
moments
be
in order.
that, yeah. But they kind of set you up with like a good opener to the season, and then you get a little more backstory, you get your Maki episode, and then you get your Culling game lore explanation. So I think the overall flow to the entire season was pretty much flawless.
No,
And
yeah.
like you said, the amount of variety in animation styles and combat encounters and character moments. Really just a great season from Mappa, and a really faithful adaptation of Giga's coolest arc, in my opinion.
Yeah, I look forward to whatever the series has got in store next. Obviously, it has that. It has a controversial ending too, right? For the
Yeah,
manga.
relatively controversial. I swear to God, every big manga that ends has a controversial ending. There's like so few that actually stick and like have a incredible ending.
Yeah, like a 10 out of
But
10 perfect thing.
yeah, it doesn't really matter because if you're a shonen battle anime manga slash whatever, if you get a few good seasons, you're good. And they JJK
That's how it
already has
works.
that.
No, yeah.
It's gonna go down as a very successful shonen, no doubt.
100%.
Any other shows that you were watching?
Yeah, was that the only one you were gonna bring up?
I mean, I watched a singular episode that I suppose you probably did as well, of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh,
Princess
yeah,
Double Run.
yeah.
I was looking
I
forward to watching
forgot,
more
yeah.
of that season because,
Oh, man.
it was announced, right? And Netflix has the episodes, supposedly. The director of the season has no idea when the episodes are going to release, but Netflix should know when they're going to release the next episode, like just one more episode. It's so insane. It's really funny because the anime community is up in arms. Obviously, the JoJo's community is up in arms because the last season, part 6, had this weird batch release schedule for the episodes where I think it was like sets of 12 episodes released, like three sets of 12. And people were upset because the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is almost always been released weekly. It's just how the chapters are set up. It's very much the format of both the manga and the anime. And then Netflix gets the rights and decides that no, we're just gonna let them binge it in batches of 3, and just
And this one, it's
screw
not
it
even
if
that. It's just one fucking episode, and it's like, all right, see ya.
People were like, they
Like, my
can't
God.
possibly be worse, and they made it worse. They said, yeah, instead of batches, we're just going to release it one episode sometimes. Never be fooled.
Yeah, like never.
It's
I don't
like
think I've ever seen a show that just has such a lack of releasing. It's just so
continuity at
weird.
all. Yeah.
Like no
It's
release
really,
schedule at all.
and it's so insane that they're doing that for JoJo's
I
Bizarre
know.
Adventure Part
What
7
the
Steel Ball
fuck?
Run. What are we
It's
doing?
like one of the most beloved mangas of all time. Like, why would you
Yeah.
fuck around? And what are you doing? Are you experimenting with how long you could like? Because what I'm assuming is happening is they're spacing out the episodes so that people would remain subscribed to Netflix. It's like, do you really want to test that with JoJo Part 7 of all
Yeah.
things?
Especially because Part 6 was already so controversial. Like, people didn't like the batch episode, but like
No, yeah.
they just decided, okay, if
We
you
could
didn't
risk
like
it even
that,
more.
What if we did something
What if we
even
leaned even
worse?
harder into this?
What?
One episode every 5 years. Oh my god.
So
bro.
yeah, it's interesting. It was a great episode.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for more.
It was an
Unfortunately,
awesome
I'm
episode.
really not excited for Netflix's handling of
Oh
the
my
show.
god, bro.
And I am actually scared for what the future holds for this series. I really, because I don't know what to expect anymore.
No, yeah.
I could have expected if they were gonna
Well,
do
this
it in
is-
batches.
this is-
At least I know.
It's creating the precedent. Like, this has not been done before.
No, like it really is doing something.
Just like the actual
Completely
Steel Ball run itself, it's like the first of its kind, and the people are like, Steven
so
Steele,
true,
do you
so
think
true,
this will
yeah.
actually succeed? Like, we're like, fucking Mr. Netflix, what the fuck are you thinking? You really think this will work out? And he's like, surely. Most
So
definitely.
you want
My
more
master
money for my
plan.
subscription, and then you also don't want me to watch the greatest show that you have
Oh my
currently.
God.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
Okay,
That's silly.
yeah. Fuck Netflix.
I love
Shout out
Iraqi, though.
Iraqi. Yeah, he don't miss, and I'm sorry that they're doing it to him like this.
Yeah, they're doing it
because
dirty.
It's disrespectful.
Obviously, I know that like the show would take a long time to make because a lot of it's on horseback, and for those not in the know, drawing people on horses is very complicated, and it's very difficult to
Yeah.
get it right. And I'm sure, especially for when you're animating it, it's hard to get the proportions and everything looking right. So it makes sense that it would maybe take longer than most other JoJo parts to animate. It's also I can't remember if it is the longest. It's maybe close to the longest if it's not. So there's that too. So I would expect that like the anime to be like, I don't know, like a couple seasons worth of like released over maybe a theoretically at most a 5-year period. But I feel like someone's telling me it's going to take even longer than that with the way they're
I guess,
doing it.
unfortunately.
Like, oh my god.
Because I like the studio that's working on it, David Production, like the directors come out and be like, yeah, I mean, I don't know when they're releasing.
Yeah,
the
that's not
episode.
good.
It's clearly it's already been done. They've completed episodes. They have a backlog of things to release, and even so, we don't even like. I think Netflix just released an announcement trailer for the second episode that says it's coming in 2026. That's it.
That's
Like,
funny.
what kind of announcement? An announcement trailer for the second episode of a season
No, yeah, that's
is
stupid.
coming in the same year that the first episode dropped. Okay, yeah, I don't understand what they're doing. I hope it doesn't fuck up the whole part 7.
Yeah, not
anime,
only this
'cause it
anime,
really
but like
could.
if they continue down this route of like,
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck they're doing. What, like, are they gonna do one episode a month? Are they gonna do like they haven't said it? Are they gonna do one episode
it's just-
every couple months? Like like and then is that gonna be the way forward with not only JoJo Part 8 anime, but also they're gonna experiment with other anime shows or just other like I don't know. It's very weird and dumb. And it's not very nice that the corporate side of things is bleeding into the true art. The 11 out of 10 shit like JoJo's fucking Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. My god, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah,
You know?
if there ever was a fandom not to piss off, I mean, JoJo's fandom is one of
Yeah, they're
those,
gonna be
and
like
so
roller da
yeah,
on
just
Netflix
weird as fuck,
Corporation.
just like the weirdest people in the world are now like feral. It's like, is that really what you want, Netflix?
And a bunch of feral cosplayers going to your fucking headquarters being like, check out this JoJo reference, and they set your building on fire or something. I don't know. Yeah, anyways. So that's something. Well, I guess we'll just be talking about this show for the next 10 years.
Yeah, because
Expect
that's
a
how
monthly
long it's
update.
gonna take,
Man,
unfortunately.
that episode was a banger. Oh, but it sucks that we won't see it until another 5 months. Ah, damn it. You know, it's weird. Anyways. To talk about something a little bit more positive, I checked out an absolute oldie and goldie in the form of Cowboy Bebop. This is the third time I'm witnessing this show here. I recently showed my brother and educated his ass about Neon Genesis Evangelion, and I showed him this oldie as well. And this is also one of the best anime of all time, in my humble opinion. It's a classic. The To me, the most interesting aspect about it is the fact that it's episodic, but
Hmm.
it almost doesn't even really matter, because I mean the types of stories that I prefer are ones where it's, at least for television, is where it's going to be an overarching plot thing with like miniature arcs and sub arcs within that, and like at the very least like a main overconnecting goal story thing that's happening from episode to episode that can like themes remain consistent. Um, and in this, it's free to just go in, examine a specific part of the world, meet a couple of new characters, and have them interact with at least a couple of the main four in some way, and just like create a sequence of events that are uh, can go through many things, from being like funny to just flat out interesting to like dramatic, and or even like weird and creepy and out there for like a handful of episodes. Like it's able to accomplish a lot more by being episodic than if it was just one continuous story. You know what I mean? Like it would just be someone else in its uh, completeness. But even so, it does have perhaps like 5 episodes in total that do like more accurately relate to one another. And out of it's only 24 or 26. It's 26 episodes. And so like the last like 2.5 episodes of this show just create like the most like uniquely thematic, like nothing I've ever seen before, like sort of tone and like emotions behind it, like, and it's so good. Like it's so nice and so good, and the music is nice also. It has a banger opening, as well as like in the episodes there's nice tracks that play out, and the main characters are a lot of fun. The world is very nice. It's that sort of, I don't know what you would call it for like sci-fi, like a retro sci-fi, where like it's maybe someone like Alien, where it's like in the future, but like the technology is sort of dated. It's both like dated and future looking. You know what I mean? Where it's like got old computer screens, but they're like sort of holographic. I don't know if there's a term for that, if you know.
Yeah, it's like a retro
Yeah,
futurist.
that's
There are
my
a
guess.
few different, subcategories
No, yeah.
to that genre, but that's the general
Hmm.
gist of it. Is like, oh yeah, I mean, this show came out late 90s,
Yeah.
98, and so all of those kind of, I love how like dingy and like lived in the world is in this
Yeah, the
series.
backgrounds and the sets and everything. It's very detailed, from like every
It's
single
just,
bar that they're in, or every single like
yeah.
diner or whatever,
Hmm.
and the ship
It
itself.
just, it helps you believe that the world is so much larger, and like the fact that this is, it's a single season, 26 episodes, that's all you're getting. It leaves you wanting more, especially because like you said, it's so anthological, it's episodic for the most part, and then
Hmm.
you get to like the final few episodes, and like where you start to get, narrative arcs throughout the stories, and just larger, kind of bigger world building and character arcs.
Hmm.
And at that point, that's the end.
And it goes
That's all
so
you
hard.
get,
Yeah,
and it leaves
it goes
such
out
a
with a bang.
impactful
Wink,
moment.
wink.
Yeah, yeah, iconic. Really. just the greatest anime in my eyes.
Oh,
My
the
favorite of all
greatest
time, for
anime.
sure.
It's your favorite? Damn. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yep.
It's
I
up there for
love
me. It's maybe like
I
third
love sci-fi.
or
I'm a
fourth.
sucker for sci-fi. The
A.
specific blend of sci-fi and like weird Western kind of psychedelic and
No,
like
yeah, it's
jazzy,
also got Western things
funky.
because the cowboy in the
It's
title is not a lie. There are like cowboy type aesthetics,
absolutely,
and it's very fun that blend of the sci-fi and the old timey,
yeah,
like American Western influences that this show takes in.
yeah, just a excellent series.
Hmm.
Glad you
Some
could educate your
the new
brother.
youth they call it unk slop. I call it a classic. Okay, that's what we call them.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting you say that it leaves you wanting more because there actually is more in the form of Cowboy Bebop the movie, which I saw that for
Yeah.
the first
Hmm.
time. Um, it's very good. It's not like the greatest story arc within Cowboy Bebop, and I find it interesting that they decided to take this story and make it into a full blown film length thingy rather than like one of the episodes specifically. But I also don't know the full story behind this film. I'm guessing that because the anime came out in 98, 99, the film came out in 2001, so I don't know if like um, they just saw the success in the show and they're like, well, we got to do another idea, and then they cooked up this one, and it's still very nice. It's very good. Um, it's just not necessarily like takes some of the same heights from pieces of the shows, even like the individual episodes, I would say. But I saw it once I finished the like part one, which is the first 13. I think it's 2 seasons technically. It's like 1 through 13 is one season, 14 through 26 is season two. Um, I guess just like I don't know when it aired or whatever. Um, so I watched the film after episode 13 to sort of like I don't know, in the middle because it's another one of those sort of more episodic adventure thingies, just more in depth, and it's very good, and I would recommend it as well as a good companion piece. And you should watch it in the middle. Don't finish the TV show and then watch this. You want to watch this somewhere in the middle.
Meaning to. I mean, uh, as someone who said that, the show is my favorite anime of all time. The fact that I haven't done the
Oh
due
my
diligence
god!
and
I
watched
haven't done
the
it
movie.
until it's the third time I'm watching the show. So, and I had
Yeah,
never checked out the film
exactly.
until this point. So
The show
it's not a
stands
must see
alone,
for
and
sure,
yeah,
but it's a
but
good supplementary material if you're seeking more. If you're seeking more bopping of bees, of
I
boy
might just have to
cows.
do that.
Ooh, let's bop some bees. Yeah, it's nice. Anyways, that is the TV, I believe. Correct me if I'm
It
incorrect.
is indeed.
Okay. Okay. That means
We've
video
only got a
games.
few video games to talk about this time.
I got five. Can I please go first? I have to get some stuff off my chest. I've got some lingering things from last month that have not gone away because we recorded last month's video last month, and the day after we finished recording that, I was like, wait a minute. I forgot to say some takes about Fire Emblem Blazing Sword that I had written down, but I didn't bring up in the discussion. So I have to say it now. I'm sorry. So yeah, Fire Emblem Blazing Sword. I did not play it within this past month, but I have some additional things to complain about. First of all, is the support system. It's a bunch of shit. I don't know if you remember how it works, Peter, but from what I was reading on Serene's Forest or Serena's Forest or whatever, basically just the wiki of Fire Emblem in general. The way that it works or excuse me, let me instead say the way that it works in the games that I'm used to because it makes more sense to me. The way that it works in the newer games is you fight adjacently. You get two units who are support compatible. They fight adjacently or paired up if that exists in the games, and then you need like maybe you need to do that like 3 times per map, and then they get like one support point or like maybe 3 support points or whatever the fuck. And then once you do that enough times, then you get C rank, then B rank, then A rank, then S rank or whatever. And like to me, that's fine. That makes sense. That's nice and stuff. But the way this game does it is that you don't fight alongside one another. You have to have them end their turns next to one another. And then that's 1 point. But some characters, like some pairings of characters, get more points than others. So for most people, they just get 1 point. But some pairings, they might get 2 or 3 or 5. And then some characters also start at a higher base, like point total than others. Like Elliewood and Hector, since they know each other before the story's taken place, they start at like however many points ahead of the curve. But anyways, for most people, it's you get 1 point per turn where they're ending their turns adjacent to one another. And the amount of points you need to get from one rank to another is fucking 80. You need 80 points to get from to rank C. Just to see rank C, you need 80 points. So I maybe saw like 5 conversations in total. All of them were like quicker supports that started from like a higher level. Like I saw Lynn and Florina, the Falcon Rider lady, and then I saw Elliewood and Hector, and Lynn and the fucking one of the archer dudes, and the Lynn and the one of the Cavaliers. But anyways, that was basically it. Like the whole fucking game, and there's no menu to tell you who supports with who. You just kind of have to know. Like so, there's no way of knowing from the game. There's no tutorial about the game telling you. None of the limb chapters explain it at all. Like you have 10 fucking tutorial chapters to introduce this shit to me. None of them talk about that. And then on top of that, you got the whole fact that it's one in these older Fire Emblem games, they only allow each character to have 5 support conversations in total. And so what that means is if you get 2 characters to A rank with one another, they could only get 2 more C ranks or 1 B rank with one other person. And like all of these things, they just contribute to the idea of like, do they even want me to fucking see these characters interact? Do they even want me to like see the army like hang out and be like friends with each other? I mean, I think the idea is that it encourages replayability, but like the other games that have supports grow faster already do that way better because I can actually fucking see them. In this, I have to play the game like 100 times to see every single conversation. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like what the fuck do you mean I have to? It doesn't make any sense. It like, oh my god, it makes sense when in the newer games where you have to initiate combat with one character and another next to each other because fighting alongside is gonna be what bonds them or whatever. What doesn't bond, I mean, I don't know. I guess bonding them, it does make sense in lore in these games because if you're like just fucking for 40 turns, just ending turns next to each other, and they're waiting, and like your tactician. Like in lore exists in the story, they're just gonna be standing next to each other being like, goddamn, our tactician's really just letting us stand around here. So it makes sense that eventually they're gonna come up with a conversation, I guess. But it just the whole thing is weird and that's stupid. And I'm glad that they changed it in future games. I don't know if you have any remarks about the old support system.
It's absolutely the earlier entries in the series had incredibly frustrating game design decisions that are incredibly opaque and vague and hard to understand, never explained. Specifically for the support conversations, I'm pretty sure when I played through, I was emulating it and I just ROM hacked so I could have infinite support conversations.
Oh, really?
And if that ever bugged out, then I would literally I would just go to Serenus Forest and look at like all of.
Well, that's what I feel like I have to
a list
do.
of all of the support conversations.
Oh well, yeah, I saw that
exactly. Also. And so like you can for things like this, I would just like, hey, just watch a compilation on YouTube.
No, yeah, that's honestly what I'm gonna do, or I'm just gonna read it online.
Yeah, it's such.
Like I'm not gonna see them in
you
game.
will lose out on like that personal sense of achievement,
getting it for
by
yourself,
getting all of them. But the earlier games just weren't built around that. They weren't designing for things like that. Like you said, I think they were designing so that each new playthrough essentially has different supports and different relationships. So you're getting different conversations each time. But it's like coming back from future games and like games of this era, it just feels so weird and needlessly hindering. Especially
100%.
Nowadays, if you don't get all of the supports and unlock every conversation, you're kind of a weirdo. It's like, what, you don't care about all of your units? You're just trying to build them up for fodder. It's like, no, these are cool characters usually.
Well, so and like the writing is much better, at least in this game, compared to say like the Fates or Engage conversations.
Absolutely.
Both in terms of story and the actual supports themselves, or at the very least what I could fucking gather from them, which was however many like 7 or 8 conversations in total that I witnessed in the whole time of me playing it. And yeah, like I think you said earlier with the you have to go and pull up the wiki to see which characters can even support one another because there's no menu to support it. There's no menu to tell you, okay, these two characters are good for each other. They'll talk shit out. You just have no idea. And probably 99% of players back in the day before, I don't know, the internet existed. Maybe there was a guidebook that pointed it all out. I have no idea. But I would imagine a lot of players missed out on like the fucking. I mean, I was gonna pull it up, but I think I'm not going to now. But like, I would imagine a lot of players just did not see however many like random. Oh, this character can support this character, but they start at 0 and they only get +1. Like, no shit, nobody's gonna see that. Like, literally nobody. I'm not so joking. Niche. Literally fucking nobody's going to see that. You just wrote a whole conversation. You had your writing team cook up a spicy conversation that's interesting and well written and entertaining probably. I haven't read it yet, but it probably is really good. But nobody could fucking see it. I couldn't see it until I have to go and witness people just dump the dialogue on the internet. So anyways, that's complaint number 1. This other one involves the... so in this game, you have the thief class... And they do 2 main things. They could either steal items from enemy units, where they can take items in their inventory that are not currently equipped by them. I don't know if they need I think their speed stat needs to be higher than the enemy's con stat or something. I don't know. But anyways, there's that. And then their other use is using lockpicks, which can be used to open either chests or doors instead of using keys for them, which is just a better method to do because of inventory management. Because chests, keys, and door keys will take the same amount of inventory space for less uses in total. You know what I mean? So it's better to just give it to the utility unit who sucks at combat, like the thief, to have them do that. And they're given a promotion in the form of assassin. And the way to get the assassin promotion item, you have to play one of the optional paralog things, and you get it as a reward for that. So I'm like, oh, cool, I could make my shitty combat unit but good utility unit into a better combat unit through the usage of this promotion. So I did that for one of the thieves that I had, and then I go to the next map and I'm looking at the enemies. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna steal that guy's item. I'm gonna steal this guy's item with this guy, and that's gonna be the strategy, and go. And so I get to the point in the map where I'm gonna steal the dude's item, but the prompt to steal it doesn't appear. I'm like, what the fuck? What happened? Is my game bugged? Is it the speed stat is too low or something? So I don't even get the prompt to begin with. But no, when you promote your character to assassin, apparently they forget how to steal things. You just cannot do that command anymore. So you turn your shitty combat unit into a slightly better but still crappy combat unit, and they just lose all the utility that they otherwise possess. There's no fucking point to giving them the assassin promotion if they can't even do the one of the main things that their class is supposed to do. Because by that point in the game, all the chests and doors that matter are done with. You don't need the fucking lockpick anymore, really. So all that matters is the stealing, which you get some helpful items at the end for the last couple of chapters. Except, oh no, you can't because you promoted your character, and we don't want you to do that. We want you to keep them weak. Okay. Thanks for not telling me. So I got screwed over slightly, but I lost on it a couple of items. It's not the biggest deal, but it just confused me. Why? Just why? Why did you do that, video game?
Consulting the wiki on every single.
Oh my god! I forgot to read everything about the game before playing it. Oops!
So irritating.
Oh my god.
Honestly, it's that's how it is for every old game.
Every old game. Yeah, pretty much every old game has something like this, where it's just an unexplained thingy. And in the newer games, they almost have the opposite problem, where too many things are explained and they don't let you figure out enough. Yeah. It's a tough thing to balance, obviously.
Wish they could figure that out.
Yeah.
After, I don't know, 30, 40 years of game experience.
No, yeah. You would think, you would hope. Um, but anyways, this last one is probably more of a common complaint, and that's in the Lord promotion, where back in the also in the old games they want the main Lord to promote through the story, and they want it to happen at like a pivotal moment near the end of the game. And it's like maybe cool when that happens, but what it leads to is the main character sucking dick for pretty much all of the mid game, because they'll just hit max level and they'll sit there waiting to promote while like every other character in your army has promoted like 10 chapters ago. And so they're just sitting there at level 20, just a fucking empty slot in your army, just doing nothing. And then they get a promotional item, and it's like by that point they missed out on so much experience that they just suck so much. I mean, in this one you have some notoriously bad lords in the form of Eliwood Lyn, and even Hector, I guess, is sort of bad, except in my normal run he fucking smoked everything. But then again, it's Fire Emblem 7 normal modes, which is not super tough. But yeah, Eliwood sucks as a lord in the Eliwood mode specifically, even more on top of his growths not being that great and his promotional class not being that great. The delayedness in just, he's not gaining experience for a good couple of chapters. He's just fucking doing nothing. He's just running around so that you could have him talk with random NPCs. You know what I mean? Like, that's his only purpose. And if that's your only purpose, it sucks. You suck.
Yeah, it's unfortunately that it's a case for a lot of lords throughout the entire series. It's just, unfortunately, they're underpowered.
I understand why they
need to take
it.
them because they are necessary elements to the game, and for a lot of maps they have to stay alive, otherwise you lose the map.
Right.
Or you need to ferry them to the end point where they sit on the throne. So you need them, and they are legitimately.
Yeah, I mean, you can't win the
useless
game
units,
without
but
them
they are
because of the way the
underpowered.
objectives are laid out. But like, yeah, stat-wise, they suck, or at least in this game.
And like, once they get their promotions, usually they're kind of cool, but like, honestly, I'd say it's like maybe 50-50 on if it's a useful promotion throughout the series. And it's like, damn, really? Like, that's kind of why I play the games. It's like, I like the lords. The lords are usually some of my favorite characters. And getting that promotion is like,
oh, I love all three of them as
we're
characters.
at the end game, and like, now I get to use my really powerful
My epic
lord.
sword of dragon slaying.
And sometimes they're not even powerful.
I mean, in this game, you could.
It's a
There's a
weird
couple other characters who could still deal good damage to the end game boss in FE7.
There's always like units that you're gonna build up that are way stronger than the lords could ever be, which is, I mean, it's comes with the territory of making games like this.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my 3 complaints that I forgot to bring up last time. So you're listening to them now. Hashtag got them. But yeah, if you want to talk about one of the games you have,
I could
go
discuss. The first game that I played through this past month was Nioh 1. I was still in a bit of a Souls-like mood after playing Wukong, so I checked this one out because the third one has just come out, and I had heard good things about the series. So I checked out the first one, and I have conflicting opinions on this one. It's an interesting game. The combat is pretty cool. The builds that you're getting by unlocking skills from the skill tree, you can map to different buttons, and so you can end up building unique and impactful combos through the gameplay and through your playthrough, which feel really good and are engaging to play through. Unfortunately, the rest of it just feels a little unpolished. The story is very weird. It is a Souls-like, so you're not really playing for the story, but the story kind of takes up a decent amount of time. There's a lot of cutscenes and stuff. In order to compare this to a game, I will mention the first Berserker Kazan that I played through a little while ago. That game is very much inspired by Nioh. Nioh is like a kind of a new take on the Souls-like genre, and the points that I brought up with Kazan, where it has like that gacha-like element to the gear and equipment, and you're killing 100 enemies and they're dropping like 50 items of loot each, and they each have like different rolled stats. I compared that to a gacha. It is technically inspired by ARPGs like Diablo and stuff,
Hmm.
which I'm less versed in. Um,
Right.
but it's a frustrating element to bring into a Souls like, where oh, now the stats that you have on your equipment is random, and the usefulness of certain items are just going to be essentially useless. Um, they do interesting things to try and design around that, obviously by uh, creating ways to translate the loot that you have into either XP or sometimes crafting equipment and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So there are ways to get value out of the thousands of items that you're going to be picking up that are going to be useless. Um, but still, it's a interesting design choice that I didn't really love in Kazan and I don't really love here. There are still the unique kind of equipment sets that they had in Kazan that I do like here, where you can kind of build together uh, sets of two or sets of three and like uh, unlock unique passive effects by using those. Um, but the rest of this game just feels um, a little rough around the edges. It just doesn't feel as polished as some of the other Souls likes that I've played. There's a lot of polish when it comes to how the combat flows and how it actually feels to play, which is probably the most important thing and why I think I overall would say that I enjoyed this game, but largely it's just a bit of a grind. There's
Hmm.
a lot of missions, and like in Kazan, each time you beat a mission the first time, you'll likely have a side quest that you'll unlock, which will just be another version of that level that you just
Uh,
beat with like a different end boss or a different whatever different objective.
yeah.
And so you're essentially playing through each map twice, maybe three times sometimes. And it just kind of leads to the overall flow of the game feeling a little too long, especially because sometimes what you're fighting for are just random drops
Yeah, things that are
and
not
the
useful at all
chance
to
of
you.
getting unique items that, like you said, are not, sometimes just not useful. So um, there's definitely interesting elements to this game that I have heard are improved on the
Yeah.
following games in the
Right.
series. So definitely something that I want to continue. So I'll check out two, I'll check out three. But for my first introduction into the series, it's somewhat underwhelming, but I do think I overall enjoyed my time with it.
No, yeah. I theoretically, I'd like to maybe visit this series. It's under my radar at the very least, but I
Hmm.
probably have. I got other Souls-like games to play first, namely
Yeah,
the
this is
actual
definitely not
things that
one
they're
I would
named
point
after the suit.
to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get your priorities straight for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I know. I'll get on that shit in a minute. Either Dark Souls 3 or the Elden Ring. I'll get into that shit soon enough. We'll see. Um, But the game that I have next to talk about is probably the complete opposite of a Souls. Like it's probably as far removed in terms of like video gameisms, um, in the sense that it is a visual novel. Uh,
Mm.
so gameplay wise, it's very different, and specifically, it's a Drew type visual novel. It's called The House in Fata Morgana, um, and it's a pretty popular Drew styled visual novel, which again to remind you guys of the terms that we coined here officially, Peter style visual novels have a more emphasis on gameplay, like a mixed gameplay and actual visual novel stuff. And then the Drew types are you press M1 or spacebar for 99% of it, and then every once in a while you maybe make a choice that leads you to a ending where you die or get like some sort of messed up alternate reality thing happening. So it's definitely one of those, and it's very good. It's really unique in terms of its structure and overall theming. It's definitely takes sort of a gothic historical approach. It's made by Japanese people in the country of Japan, um, and it's taking place like in historical Europe, sort of, I think, in like across a long period of time. It basically, the way that it starts out is it's following this mansion and its inhabitants, and how sort of a curse is uh, falling upon members of this household over time. So it'll start in like whatever the 1600s, show off the weird messed up situation that happens with the particular set of characters, and it'll be like, I hope you enjoyed that, and then it'll go skip a couple decades or maybe a century or so, and then examine a slightly alternate sort of setting, but the same mansion still, and then a slightly different cast of characters, and be like, here's this other sort of course of weird events happening. Um, and it succeeds very well at being atmospheric and unsettling and dramatic and strange. Like the sound design in this game is so rock solid in terms of like the like actual music itself, but also the blend of it with the sound effects. The like what's the word that starts with the P for like visuals and audio, and the surface, not the surface level things, but like the fucking whatever. I'll put it up on screen. It's a very basic word that's hard to forget, but I somehow manage to do that sometimes. Um, it's got a very good one of those, and it's got a very, again, like I said, it's got a very interesting structure to it, where obviously, where like eventually it breaks out of sort of the loop that I was describing it, and it veers and goes in like all sorts of different directions, and it has twists upon twists, with a twist on top. And so it starts off very strong, and then it sort of dips a little bit, and then it picks back up again in like other chapters, and then dips again in like another chapter, and then it ends still on a very good note. But I think it does overall for this story, it does linger a bit. It does slightly overstay its welcome. There's definitely, I feel like, a good number of chapters in this game that could have been a bit shorter, but it's almost hard to imagine too much of this game being shorter without it sacrificing too much of its unique structure that it eventually does form. So I think as it exists in its current state, it's still very solid and very interesting, and it definitely kept me on my shoes, is the phrase, I think, for pretty much all of the game. Though again, I did dip in and out here and there as it grows from like even the midpoint to the end. I think it like, again, specific chapters overstay their welcome slightly. And then there's also the whole idea where it's, again, this, it's in Japanese originally by Japanese writers writing about European stuff, and then it gets localized. So there's like some attempts at Old English stuff here and there, but then they sort of drop it with even like the same characters, even in like the same scenes. So I don't understand what they were necessarily going for with that, if you're going to lean into it sometimes, but not other times. So I don't know, but despite all that, I think it's a very, very good visual novel, Drew type visual novel, and I completely understand why people love it so much. I really like it, is how I would sum it up. I don't necessarily love it, but I did really enjoy it, and I do think it is worth checking out in terms of being a visual novel thingy. I played it on Steam Deck, and there was like only one like weird visual bug where like the very bottom row of pixels and the very like right side column of pixels sometimes would have like the last scene like trickling in there like behind it somehow. I don't know why it was like a weird aspect ratio thing. It's not made for Steam Deck. It's one of those games that doesn't have controls, but I mean, on the Steam Deck, it's got that mouse thingy trackpad. So, what even ever, man. I played it on it anyways. But yeah, again, I would recommend it. It's very nice, and again, it's a little creepy sometimes, and it's got themes of weird stuff happening and gore and violence. So again, if you don't like those sorts of things, stay away, I guess. But if you are badass and epic like me, then check it out, I would say.
How long was it in total?
Oh, for me, it was around 40 hours. For perhaps quicker readers, it would be a little bit quicker than that. Because for context, Fate Stay Night remastered took me 80, so that's double the length. But I feel like I got more out of that. Part of that was because of the 3 route alternating shits, and I like the shonen setup, which is basically what that story sort of follows and was likely inspired upon. And again, this story is very different from that. But I feel like if this was like a 30-hour venture or even like a 25 rather than 40, it would have been a very solid, tight package there. But even so, as long as 40 hours go, it's very, very good. And the artwork is really great too. It's a very unique, like, not what you think when you think like anime style. It's a very much like taking inspirations from other locations on the planet. So it's cool as well, and it contributes also to that like a weird mystical, like sort of beautiful aesthetic that could also just like warp in a second into like something immensely creepy or unsettling. So it aids it as well, in addition to the audio, and just creating a very unique experience. So it's a very cool thing.
It does sound cool. Although I will admit, 40 hours of a Drew type
Mm.
light novel
Where's the
is, or
gameplay?
light novel, but yeah, it's a little scary. How would you say that Fate Stay Night is a Drew type or Peter type?
Oh, Fate Stay Night's 100% a Drew type.
Okay. And it's
It's
80 hours?
yeah,
You're like, oh, that's way better.
yeah. Well, I like it more. Yeah. It definitely that one leans more into the decision making stuff where the chapter select is like a timeline thing you can more
Hmm.
like accurately examine and like go into to uh re-go into things and like make different decisions and stuff, and like the exact like this decision leading to this decision matters a bit more in Fate Stay Night. In this, there's maybe like two or so moments where like a decision you made in the past affects the future thing, or like the one you're making currently. So, but yeah, very very low on the decision making, very low on the gameplay, for sure. So if that's not your thing, then like first of all, grow up, experience the joys of the Drew type visual novels. But again, I get it.
Unfortunately, I don't know if I'll find time to
Oh
play
my
those
god,
games like that
bro.
because, for the most part, the only reason I have so few games to talk about is largely because of this next game I'm going to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Slay the Spire 2 just
And
released early access, and by God, it's one of the best games I've ever played.
oh my
Straight
god.
up, 10 out of 10, easy. It's actually incredible.
Wow.
Um, I've been talking with my friends because a ton of my friends have gotten it and played with me, and man, we can't stop glazing this game because it's so good. It's so impressive how they manage to iterate and improve upon a game that is already heralded as one of the best games in the genre,
Mm-hmm.
an absolute classic that really changed the game for a lot. Like, it made the genre of deck builders and roguelites uh, just super super impressive. And Slay the Spire 2 is even better, which it feels hard to say,
Yeah.
but it absolutely is. One of the main reasons why it is such a distinct improvement is because it now has multiplayer, 4-person co-op, which is so fun. It's a ton of fun to play with others. It's really easy it's super simple to pick up. You're playing cooperatively with your partners, and it is honestly so simple and so legible and easy and addicting. Um, yeah, the balance of this game is just nuts. And it's early access only. It's technically not out yet, but it's like $25 and it's so worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just, I could ramble about this game forever, and I want to continue to because, man, the balance of this game, the amount of depth to the systems and the combinations of interesting runs that you're going to get is it. I've played for like, or I put like 200 hours in this game
Oh
in
my
the past
god.
month. It's
But that's the
nuts.
Steam hours lying about you having
It
it
is Steam
open.
hours. Yeah, exactly. But man, been playing this game nonstop. It's just gnarly.
Wow.
It's so easy to just pick up a run and see where it goes, and it's almost always going to be something unique and interesting. You're going to get cards that are going to interact with your relics that you're like, oh, I've never had this done before, and it makes me super overpowered. Or you could get an interesting event that really buffs a single card, and you get enchants, and oh my goodness, there's so much to dig into this game. And like I said, it's still early access. It's not even out.
Yeah,
there's like, it's only on Steam, but the fact that there's co-op means it's so much more engaging for the mainstream, and it's easier for people.
Yeah, because like a person who's experienced with Slay the Spire 1 can like help their friend who has not played it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really fun to do that. Everything works well. The multiplayer is seamless.
Yeah,
it's really easy to join games.
How does the co-op even work to begin with? Because is this new to the second game?
This is new to the second game. They have a board game of the first game, which we play a lot, because my roommates and I really like the game.
Yeah.
And that board game is co-op. So that, I'm pretty sure they took inspiration from the board game and from other deck builders games that also have co-op elements, and fused it into Slay the Spire 2. And man, it works wonders. Essentially, there's just one person who is gonna start the game up and host the game, and they'll have that save file on their computer, and then you just click into the multiplayer menu, click join an online game, and then if you're friends with them, you can just click the friends button and you'll immediately join. So it's really simple. And then you're just kind of doing essentially a solo run together. And then the bosses and the enemies will have much more health, and scale to everything. And then there are unique cards that are only offered in multiplayer. They'll do the unique things.
But since it's turn-based, right, is that like you're just waiting for your friends to do a thing and then you do a thing, or are you like deciding it together?
The party, and then at the end of everyone's turn, then the enemies go, and it's really easy because you don't have to play all at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds epic, man. The idea that like you could play it for that long, and like each run you get something unique out of it, that's cool.
Exactly. And there's a good amount of stuff in the game already, obviously, enough to keep me locked in for 100 plus hours.
Oh my god.
But there's just gonna be more coming. There's not even there was a final boss to the first game, the Heart, which you had to kind of do a specific things during your run in order to be able to beat him. And that was added later on in the development of the first one. So there's another character like that. It's called the Architect, who you see at the end of every successful run, where you beat the Act 3 boss, and then you'll meet that Architect, and he kills you no matter what. So eventually he'll be added as a beatable enemy boss.
Oh, that's just where the game ends for now in early access?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So there's no way to beat him currently. But, you know, as they continue to develop this game, they're releasing balance patches. This game has only been out for a month. There's only like one single patch, I think, that's going out in beta, and it's being tested currently, and then it's going to be released for the mainline game. But yeah, it's so nuts to me that they were able to succeed on a sequel to such an extent. It's been a really interesting year for indie games and sequels, because in my memory, Hades 2, Silk Song, and now Slay the Spire 2 are all marketed improvements on the first ones, and all of those first games are like unique games that really set them, like, our industry to define
genre
to some
defining.
extent. Hollow Knight is one of many people's favorite Metroidvania of all time. Went on to inspire a bunch of Metroidvanias and kind of repopularize the genre. Hades, also just an incredible roguelite with great art and really took the world by storm. And then Slay the Spire being the roguelike the deck building roguelike that everyone loved. And but I think that most of those came out maybe 5-10 years ago now, and look at that, they all come back with really impressive improvements on the games and just made impressive sequels that I have obviously enough good things to say about for all of them. So definitely games to check out, especially Slay the Spire 2, just because this one I think stands even leagues above the other ones.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I definitely want to check this game out at some point. Because again, I played the first one sort of briefly, and I would like to theoretically give it the second chance in the form of hitting its sequel. The only issue is right now I'm playing a different roguelike with the Roman numerals of 2 in its title, which I won't talk about today, but I'll save it for next month. Believe
Okay.
me, here, mark my word.
Me thinking about what that could possibly be.
Oh, I wonder. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's cool that you are having such an insane blast with this game here.
It really is just that good. New characters, new cards, new relics, new everything, and all of it works even better than the first one.
Damn. That's nuts. Okay. So yeah, I got for my next video game, I hit since I had the Wii U upstairs in my bedroom from the decrepit cavern basement area, I decided to hit another game that is exclusive, sort of, to it. That being The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD. This is a game from my youth that I never beat because in my younger days I did not beat video games. When I got bored, I just stopped playing one and then played a different one from beginning to midpoint. And I did that a lot, beginning to midpoint. And it was definitely one I did with this game a good number of times. I have a joke with my brothers that my brother, one of them, deleted my save file for this game twice, and that's the real reason I never beat it. I think he only deleted it once, though. But I do definitely know for a fact that it was gone another time, so I cannot imagine it being anybody other than him, because I would never make that mistake. But anyways, with that aside, this is a very cool, very, very nice video game here in the form of it being an HD sort of remaster thingy of The Wind Waker, which was originally on the GameCube. When that game came out, it has the historical thing of like there was that E3 Ocarina of Time had came out, and then like whatever, a year or two or however many years later at the E3 conference, they were showing off like a realistic fight scene between Link and Ganondorf to hype up the new Zelda game. And then like the next, after that E3, maybe at like the next year's one, they revealed the cartoony ass baby Toon Link, and then people were like, what is this baby garbage? I want Call of Duty Black Ops shooting people. I want Zelda with a gun, you know what I mean? And over time, it's since people have grown to appreciate the art style that it's had, and the visual style is very, very nice. And this one, for the Wii U HD one specifically, people complain about the bloom effects. They think they're too pronounced. Which as a kid I was like, what do you mean? This game looks awesome. But now I understand that, and I have seen comparisons between this and the GameCube one, and I could like understand preferring the visual style of the original. I think overall this one is better, but at the same time, that complaint of the bloom effects being too strong, they do definitely go a tier above what they perhaps should have done. But this is a very nice and very sort of unique Zelda game, because a lot of the Zelda games are based around you are in this world, you're navigating it, you're discovering little secrets or whatever, and then there's like main dungeon thingies that have different rooms and enemy encounters and puzzles to solve within it, all with mini bosses and whatever other Zelda archetypes exist in the series. And this one takes a bit of a different spin where a lot of it's on the water. So you're steering a boat around this. For the time the game released, a very big sea, and even still today, it's quite sizable. The Wii U version makes traversing it a lot nicer because there's this item called the Swift Sail, which makes you sail at maybe double the speed. And then also you with the little wands. What the fuck is in like an orchestra? The dude who's like guiding everybody.
On
Yeah.
Conductor baton.
Yeah, conductor baton. You got one of those, I think is what it's supposed to be. And you use that in some of the Zelda games. You get like a musical instrument to like do random shit. And so you get one of those in this that lets you determine the wind direction, and you're supposed to use that to set the direction you sail in, and then you sail in that direction. But with the Swift Sail, it just automatically does that for you. So, like, from my understanding, the GameCube version is going to be more tedious than the Wii U version, in part because of that. Because every time you get on the goddamn boat and want to change direction, you have to play the song again, and then start sailing in that direction, and then go half the speed of what the Swift Sail goes. In addition to, at the end game, there's this sort of infamous gather the Triforce pieces part, where you have to like sail around the entire ocean and gather up like random spots. They'll have shards of the Triforce that you gotta unite because it's the MacGuffin. And they make that nicer in the Wii U version because they're in more defined places, not in the water that you have to spelunk and try to search around for. So overall, I'd say the Wii U version is better, even though, again, I think it's somewhat reasonable sort of to prefer the original in terms of visuals, but what even ever, man. So the story is simple and it's nice. This is maybe my favorite incarnation of Ganondorf. I feel like his character in this is like perhaps the most pronounced and interesting, even compared to like the Ocarina of Time or even Twilight Princess, I guess. I guess the Twilight Princess story integration Ganondorf is one of the weaker ones because it feels more of like a pulling out of the ass. Like you have this main villain Zant, and then the Ganondorf's like, I'm actually the main dude now. Even though I think it overall works in that game, it definitely does. It's nice in Wind Waker where he's set up from very early on. You see him at one of the earlier dungeons, and he's untouchable. He's out of your reach because of the power scale difference between the two of you at that point. But then in the actual final battle, it's very simple. Like none of this game is difficult at all in terms of like combat difficulty. Like I maybe died once in like the early game from something stupid. Like I fell from a tall height that I didn't think was going to kill me, but it did, or like something like that. But the main thing that like difficulty wise that comes from this game is just like the annoyance in its side content. Like there's this one thing where you have to for one of the heart pieces, which is one of the main reoccurring Zelda collectibles, where it just when you get 4 or 5 of them depending on the game, you increase your total health just total by one thingy. And so in order to get one of those in this game, you have to fight this old man in your hometown, and you have to hit him 500 times without being hit by him 3 times, and it takes fucking forever to do it, and it's so annoying. And you have to get like, it's not the most difficult thing in the world, but you have to like be so focused for so long. Like I felt like I was legitimately getting like fucking tunnel vision or something. Like I was going into like a super trance thing that I've never been involved. Like I've never been in that mindset for like anything ever in my life. I felt like I was really just going out of it for trying to fucking attack this dude 500 times. Like it was maybe like one of the most annoying things I've ever done in a video game. Like it was just so like, just why? It could have been 300, it could have been 100. Why make it 500? It's just stupid. And apparently you got to go all the way up to 999 where he just gives you like more money, which is not even useful. I would not recommend doing that. That's not a good, it's probably not helpful for your eyes or your brain to hit him 999 times in a row like that. Jesus. Oh my God. Anyways, there's some another annoying side content in the form of there's like this figure gallery thing, which I did not need to do. I did end up 100%ing this game, which I wasn't sure if I was going to or not, but I was capable of doing it, so I decided to. And also 100%ing this game is almost still like a shorter video game experience than the just beating a normal other game that I like one of those long ass JRPGs where it takes me 70 hours to beat it. This one is like the main game is maybe 25 hours and then 30 if you do some extra shit. And then I think for this, it took me around 40 to do everything, I think. So there's this thing called the figure gallery, and what you have to do is you have to basically take a picture of every single NPC and enemy in the game, and then deliver the photos to this one location in the game so that the dude could make figurines of each of the characters. And you only get 12 photographs. You can only take 12 of them at a time, and then your like picture inventory thing fills up. So you have to, like, in batches of 12 or less, go all the way and travel to this one dude in this one remote part of the world. It doesn't take super long once you get like the teleportation song thingy. But once you do that, you go up to him, and it's one of those very Nintendo thingies where it's like he says the same fucking dialogue each and every time for every individual photograph. Where he's like, "Wow, you're giving me this picture," and then you hit the A button, and he's like, "Wow, this is a very nice picture," and you hit the A button again. He just keeps talking about stupid nonsense. It's like, I already know you're gonna finish it the next day that passes. I know you're gonna say, "Oh, make sure to keep bringing me some." Like, I know you're gonna say all that shit. Just skip all of that. Why are you making me do this? Literally like 100 or 200 times for like all these fucking figurines. Like, you're already making it so that I can only turn in 12 at a time. Now you're making me do every single one by one and having 5 like fucking dialogue boxes in between. Like, what are you doing? Do you want people to see all the side content, or do you want to gatekeep it? Are you fucking Fire Emblem the Blazing Sword, or are you a real video game? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So that's silly. Some of it sort of relates to that. There's like another side quest for a heart or a heart piece. And it's where you got to put flowers. You got to plant flowers around a town. And so it seems simple and nice or whatever. Except you can only carry 3 of them at a time for some reason, even though your like inventory pouch thing that you put them in can 100% hold more than 3 of them in there. So, whatever, you can only carry around 3. So you take one from your inventory, you equip it, then you go run to a pot, you plant it in, and then you have to re-equip the next one. It's because it's not in a stack for some reason. It's like a separate thing, even though they're the same exact fucking item. So you have to go up to the next one and re-equip it. It's like, why are we doing this? I would think, maybe it exists in the original GameCube version. That's fine. It's the Wii U HD remaster where we've entered 2 new eras since the GameCube. Why can't we get rid of these stupid thingies that nobody cares about except for me? Apparently, I guess that's the main reason. It's because nobody else talks about them. That's what I'm trying to encourage here. I'm trying to encourage, let's bring these stupid things up so that we eliminate them more in the future. Because the less we talk about them, the more they're going to continue, or the likelihood increases that they're going to continue. So we got to talk about them, even though there's a lot more going on in this game than those things that I just mentioned. But they stick out, so they need to be mentioned. Because again, the good is very obvious. The sailing around the Great Sea, once it opens up to you, it's very fun to explore. And it's, again, I think the Wii U version is probably better in terms of the swift sail maneuvering. Like, I would imagine I would get annoyed doing 100% going around everywhere, doing everything in the original at just like the slow ass. It's not like the slowest thing ever, but it's definitely a noticeable difference in the speed increase there. And the other thing in this game, it has sort of weaker dungeons compared to other games in the series, like Ocarina of Time. I definitely think has better dungeons than this. And I would even say Majora's Mask has better dungeons than Wind Waker. It probably has the weakest set of them in, at least for the 3D games, and at least for the ones that I've played. Or actually, well, I guess Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom exist, and those dungeons are not very good. Because again, it's trying to do a lot of the different things, and so the dungeons are like sort of the weaker aspect of those, and also some of the weaker aspects of this one as well. So, but either way, it's still very nice and very fun, and the story is nice. The characters are good. You got very memorable set of NPCs in this game. It's some of the Zelda series, I would say, it does quite well, both in terms of design and their sort of goofy little gimmicks or behaviors and whatever. You get a couple of very good standout ones. Like there's this one of the mini games that's also sort of annoying. It's like battleships, and it's all just fucking luck based. It's annoying as hell. But the actual NPC who runs it is quite the character, where they have like a billboard cutout where they like role play pirates attacking you for like the mini game, and the like villagers being captured by them, and like being thankful that you rescued them at the end. And you just like doing little voices for them. It's a rather humorous and memorable character for sort of a crappy, annoying part of the game. But that's how I would summarize it. It's charming. It has its minor hiccups of annoyances, but it's still a very good and solid experience that is worth playing at least once, I would say. So I would recommend this.
Very nice. It's just another Legend of Zelda for me to put on my list.
Ooh.
Check out.
But you got all of them.
Eventually go through all of them. Because I've literally not played a single one.
Damn. You're going to start with Zelda 1, and then hit Zelda 2,
Exactly.
and then hit Link to the Past, and then hit the Oracle game, or Link's Awakening comes first, actually, and then hit the Oracle games, and then hit Ocarina of Time. I'm trying to guess, based on my forgotten knowledge of the order of the release date.
Yeah.
I think that's it, though, sort of. And then you get to play Minish Cap, and then you get, whatever. Majora's Mask comes after, but anyways, yeah. It's a very cool and interesting, fun series. If I had to recommend games to get into them, if you don't want to play them in order of release date, because Zelda 1 is an old game, Zelda 2 is also a very old game and a bit sort of worse. I think A Link to the Past, even though I never beat it, that's probably a decent starting point. That's an early one that's 2D. A Link Between Worlds is essentially sort of a remake of A Link to the Past, and I love that game a lot. I think it's not my favorite 2D Zelda. It's my second favorite because I love Link's Awakening a lot, specifically the Switch version of that. And then for 3D games, I think Ocarina of Time is a great place to start. That's an excellent video game, and it's, again, people will call it Unk Slop. Okay, it's a classic. It's a classic. So yeah, that's my Zelda update. I'll play a new game next year, maybe.
There's always going to be more, probably.
When I play Sacred Stones, when I bring the Wii U up again to play Sacred Stones, I'll also check out Twilight Princess HD, maybe. That's my thought process. That's my plan, but that's a year or two from now. So we're not going to talk about that.
Glad you got it booked up. On my end, after finally tearing myself away from Slay the Spire for
somehow,
a moment, decided to pick up Soma, which is a bit of a cult classic horror game that came out a while ago, 2015.
Horror.
From Frictional Games, who made, I believe they made it Amnesia, those old horror games that PewDiePie used to play a lot. Soma, I've heard, is like many people were lauding it as their best game. A lot of people's favorite story of all time. Really interesting.
Really?
So it's been on my list for a while. Obviously, because it's a scary game, it's taken me a while to get into. But now I feel more comfortable after having played a few of the survival horror type games. This one is less of a survival horror because there's not as much resource management. There's no bullets or medicine that you need to pick up. But there are those puzzle-based elements to the game. Really, though, the gameplay of this game is pretty mid. The horror elements to it aren't really that terrifying, although the both the sound design and the soundtrack and the overall environments and the art design all really do make it pretty scary, pretty kind of moody and tense. But the actual hiding from the monsters is less than scary. It's honestly sometimes kind of annoying, especially because the stakes are so weird. Essentially, when the monster gets you, it'll hit you, knock you out, and then you'll come back immediately with lowered health, so you'll be on death's door, and the monster will have run away to a different part of the environment, and you can continue and try and avoid it. If you get hit twice, though, then you die and you get reset by the checkpoint. So it's once you figure that out, which you're gonna figure that out like immediately after you get hit by the first enemy, it just makes the stakes kind of feel less important, and it really kind of makes it clear that you're playing a video game and you can just kind of gamify your way past a lot of these monsters. So if this game had only that going for it, I really wouldn't love it. However, the story of this game is really standout and unique and excellent and existential and super pretty horrifying. Like the horror in this game is coming from the story. It's coming from the themes that it explores. It's really worth it to go into this game blind. I did not know much about it besides that, oh, it was good, and it kind of had to do with weird things. Have you heard anything about this, Drew?
No, I've never heard of it.
Okay, I'm not going to discuss any of the details then, because I do genuinely think it's worth it to play just for the story, honestly. There's a difficulty setting to this game where you can play on normal difficulty, which is what I played, or you can play on safe mode, which means that the monsters won't kill you. Honestly, it might be worth it just to play on that setting, because the gameplay didn't really do it for me. It didn't feel like it was adding that much to the experience, because really the whole experience is the story and is the narrative that the game takes you through. Really, really solid voice acting for the most part. There are the voice acting is kind of weaker in the beginning, but they really get chances to shine and flex later on in the game.
Interesting.
It feels like the game just gets better and better as you play it. And then the story obviously just gets deeper and more interesting. There were like constantly times where I would feel like was making predictions about where the story would go, and instead of that being like a reveal at the end of the game, you continue playing for like 5 minutes, and then the reveal comes that, oh, you were right, but really your prediction about where the game is going is just surface level, and the game goes even deeper, and the things that you thought were important are really just kind of fragments of what you should be really worried about. Just really great framing to the story. The structure of it is really fun. It's kind of weird and off kilter at the beginning, just because of how they reveal information to you. But really, it makes it super engaging, really immersive, makes you feel like the character. And then as you go through the various kind of events and trials and tribulations, you come to really feel for the character, and honestly the things that happens to feel very personal, and it really kind of makes you think about life and like the weird existential dread that comes with thinking about your place in the universe. It's a cool game. Would recommend.
Okay.
Honestly, if the audience member is not really that engaged with horror games, it's honestly a good one. I could recommend checking out just like a YouTube playthrough.
Sure.
Because really the whole appeal to this game is the story. And in my opinion, if you skip the gameplay, you're not going to be missing out on that much.
Sure.
Although there is a bit of a loss of a sense of immersion
Right.
and agency, because there are certain moments in the game where the act of playing the character and like actually being able to control them is utilized in an interesting way to kind of explore the greater themes that the game is trying to tackle. So up to you if you're kind of willing to sacrifice that sense of agency, because in general, I think this story is worth it to check out
Okay.
in any way, shape, or form, really.
How would you say this compares to Silent Hill 2? Because that's another horror game
Hmm.
that has a big emphasis on story with sort of lesser gameplay, at least in terms of the combat. The puzzles are nice in both versions of
Hmm.
Silent Hill 2, the remake and original, but the combat's ass in both of them.
The
So,
nice thing about this game is it's short. This is like, I think it took me maybe like 6 hours to play through.
oh, damn.
And like if you're watching a video, you could just watch it however quick you want.
Yeah.
Um, but this game is definitely it's a lot shorter. Um, the story is more straightforward. With Silent Hill, it's a lot more dreamy and kind of vague and ominous. This one is definitely more concrete in how this. Um, it's interesting because things are like weird and kind of mysterious at the beginning, but then obviously the story unfolds and you'll uncover more information and it becomes more concrete. It's more of a linear game than anything else. That's what another reason why I don't think it's that important to play through the game because it is so linear. Like you're
Hmm.
not making decisions, you're not getting to explore big environments. You're just kind of going through on the rails, doing certain puzzles in order to get to the next part. Um, it is kind of fun in the way that you get to explore the environment. It's very much inspired by like a System Shock or a Bioshock kind of game, where a lot of the storytelling is happening through the environment. You'll be looking at computers and going through emails,
Oh,
or
okay.
you'll
Okay.
find like a voice log that'll give you information. In this game, you can kind of read the minds of recently dead, and you can kind of essentially encounter their last words and their last kind of audio logs. So there's a lot of cool kind of elements of the world building and storytelling that's happening indirectly through exploring the environment. But other than that, the main kind of crux of the story and the themes that it's trying to explore are going to be directly in that main storyline that are is incredibly hard to avoid. It's basically all you're going to be playing.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I will maybe check this one out because I'm a little bit interested. You have me intrigued, I have to
Yeah,
say, in
this
this.
I think this story is absolutely worth it to check out.
Okay.
Just because there's not many. It's a very unique story um, compared to any games I've played. If I were to compare it to anything, it would be like some of my favorite sci-fi stories and those kind of existential questions. I
Yeah.
always can't say that word, but um,
Okay,
like
cool.
I said, love it a lot.
Yeah, it's nice. But if I do end up playing it, I will not heed your advice. I will disobey you and play it on normal mode because I'm curious to see how bad or middling it is.
Okay.
Um, but anyways, I got two more games to talk about. One of them being Astro Bot, which was a game that came out in 2024. It got a lot of praise. It won Game Awards year game thing, I think. And for good reason. This is a very cool, very nice, very charming piece of work here. It's a very, uh, it's very nice. It's very comforting. It's something that can be enjoyed by sort of people of all ages, both kids and fully grown adult males or women or whoever else alike. It can be enjoyed by sort of all, I feel like, walks of people because it's that sort of approachable uh, platformer where it's not the most difficult video game ever. It does have a couple of challenge side thingy objectives that do amp it up a little bit, which I did 100% this game also, which I think is worth doing. Um, but the main draw to it is that it's just a rock solid platformer, and it understands what it means to be a video game, and that like sort of classic Mario, like setting up a challenge, then a slight iteration upon it, and then like the final like true like sort of deadlier uh, like iteration of that challenge. It just sort of takes that and absolutely nails it. And the theming of each levels is really solid and really unique from one another. The game looks and plays really great. I mean, what you want most out of a platformer is just responsive controls, and that's just what this game has. The level design is pretty much perfect. There's really no like wasted parts of the level. Like every single aspect about it just like feels fully realized and like lived in, and like even parts of it that you're not necessarily walking through still have things that are worth at least visually looking at, because they'll have like random animals or like environmental effects happening. um so yeah, it's just like a really really solid experience that's still exclusive to the PlayStation stuff, which is maybe the only drawback, I guess. But it's so like integrated into Sony and the PlayStation image as a whole in terms of its theming, because I mean, sort of similarly to Astra's Playroom, which was that like demo that comes free with the PS5 that I talked about
Hmm.
some time ago. I mean, this is basically just like a full video game version of that, and it's much better. But it does have that same theming of Sony history and PlayStation history in general through like the references of like the little like the main collectible you get is just other bot dudes, and a lot of them are themed after other Sony PlayStation video games. So you get like the God of War people, the Horizon Zero Dawn. You get Crash Bandicoot and Yakuza and random stuff like that. You even get how many games can you think, Peter, where you can collect Psycho Mantis? That's one of the collectibles you could get. And not too many. This might be the only one actually where
It might be the only
you
one.
could get Psycho Mantis. That's cool. Um, so the game's very charming in that way. Like the references, it's very easy for references in general to feel cheap. In this one, they feel genuine because there's a lot of like you not only rescue them in the level, which like the exact circumstance of them being rescued could be like a reference to like the video game that they're from. Like Joker Persona 5 is in this game, and you find him. He's at like the top of this like slot machine thing in like a casino level to like reference the start of the Persona 5, which he appears in. And also there's one of the other set of collectibles is giving every single unique referenced bot like an object that associates that they're like associated with. So like for some characters that's just like the weapon sword that they swing around, and so for some characters it's like the little animal companion that they have and whatnot. And I feel like there's a lot of detail and a lot of like genuine love and affection and appreciation that the devs put into all of those things and interactions. And like there's like a little hub world that they all appear in, and like the exact specific things that they're doing, and that feel very accurately detailed to like something specifically that was perhaps going on in their game. So like the references are there and plentiful, and they're also represented quite well, which is nice to see. That's how you want to see references handled. You don't want them to feel like Ready Player One cheap, I don't know, cash grabs type of things. The other thing about this game, which is really nice, is that I love the DualShock 5, which is the controller for PlayStation 5. It's a very underutilized controller. I forget if I've talked about this or not for the past PS5 games that I played, but it's very underutilized. And I feel like if Nintendo had made this controller, it would be like all of its functions would be used in every video game ever. It's got like the whole gyro control scheme. It's got like the triggers. I forget the term they use, but it's got I think they call it adaptable triggers, where sometimes it's easier to press, and then sometimes they like make it require more force to press it down during certain moments, and sometimes they can lock it to like you could get halfway down but like not all the way or something, or like it's easy the first half and then it gets more like it's very unique and intricate in that way. They have a very unique and detailed rumble effect, which I get it, not everybody loves the rumble in their controllers. They just want it to not do that. And for most part like rumble controllers is kind of annoying because it's just like on or off. Like either it's rumbling the fuck out of your hands when like the god demon lord you're fighting against is like shooting his big fist down at you, or like a splash of water hits the screen. Like it's the same rumble that's happening, you know what I mean? But in this, on the DualShock 5, they're able to completely separate that out. So like for example, in Final Fantasy 16, there's like a moment where you're on this boat and there's like a light rain pouring down, and they're able to like somehow replicate that like pitter patter of the rain on like the rumble of the controller, where it's like really light and only happening in like certain parts of the controller. It's like such like a unique thing. And in Astro's Playroom and in this one also, like when you're walking around sand, there's like some sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it, like this sort of coarse effects rumble thingy going on the controller, like when you're running around the sand. Like it's so unique and so like I'm sad because it's so underutilized. Like the only fucking games that use it are like Astro Bot, Astro's Playroom, Final Fantasy 16, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, I guess, uses some of that stuff. It also has audio. It has like a little microphone thing. So like in Final Fantasy 16, I forget if I mentioned it or not, but like when you attack with the dog, it makes like a howl noise that like goes through the controller. Or like in Sonic X Shadow Generations, when you collect rings, I think, or like hit bumpers, it like plays a little sound from the controller, which is sort of silly. And I don't know if it needed that, or I don't know if there's a way to turn that off in the settings, but it was sort of funny. And yet, I mean, this game is just it's so charming, and it's so nice and wonderfully built. 100%ing it is, I would say, worth doing. The secrets in each of the levels are worth exploring for, even if you had to look it up like I did, because the way I played it, at least, is I just went through each level to getting all the things that I wanted to, or getting all the things I could get. And then I just revisited the ones where I missed stuff in and just looked up like, oh, here's where this thing is. And it's a really nice game in terms of 100% completing it, because you don't need to beat the level a second time to actually complete it. Like you could just go in and grab the things that you missed and then just exit, and you'll be good. In most games, you'd have to like go to the very end all over again. But in this, they recognize, they know what it means to be a video game, and they know what it means to be like a convenient, nice, fun experience. And that's just what this game is. It's fun in a package. And it's very worth playing and very worth spending time on. And again, can appeal to a wide sort of demographic in terms of young people can play it, old people can probably play it maybe, I'm thinking. Or at the very least, they could get down with the pure charm and spectacle that this game has as well. So it's very nice, very fun, and I would recommend this one as well. Only issue, of course, is PlayStation exclusive. Oops.
Yep.
Sorry.
Maybe if I had one, I would check it out. I
This is
remember
where
the
I
first
would
time I
put my
saw this
PS5
game,
if
I was so confused by it, because I saw the hype it was getting, and it looked like it was just I don't know, like an advertisement for Sony. I was just like, I couldn't wrap my head
There's
around.
no
like,
way it's
this
genuine.
is the game
Yeah.
that is getting nominated for Game of the Year. This is at all
has
the
to be
awards,
propaganda.
and it's just like, oh yeah, he's walking around the little PlayStation world, and he's jumping on the console, and he's interacting with the guy. Oh, there's Kratos.
Oh my
It's like,
God.
but I understand that this game is all about the gameplay. It's all about the feel of the game, and I fully trust that it's as good as you say. If I had a PlayStation 5, I would play it.
Yeah.
I don't, so
It's one of the best platformers I think ever made. It's really awesome.
I don't play that many platformers, so
Bro, you don't fuck with Mario? Damn.
I really don't play many of the Mario games.
Fair. You don't like that just means you don't like video games in general. You don't like Mario.
Yeah,
You don't like
exactly.
video games. Mario is video game.
Mario is video game.
I mean, out of all the platformers to play, this is definitely one to check out. Again, only issues PlayStation exclusive.
I mean, I guess I've played platformers. I played through Hollow Knight, Silk Song,
Yeah, those count.
World
Yeah.
Celeste.
Yeah.
It's a very wide genre.
Oh, totally. And it could very easily intersect with other genres and overlap. This next one I have to talk about is not a platformer. In fact, it tries to include platforming sometimes, but it's quite poor at it. But anyways, that's not the main thing going on in this game. Because this one that I have next to talk about is called Cyberpunk 2077. And this is a really cool, really interesting game. Because I remember when this released, it was the biggest fucking joke in existence. It was the buggiest mess ever. It was the biggest letdown in gaming ever, of like the most hyped up project for like almost a decade, and then it released and it just fucking sucked ass. You could like barely play it, like even on the highest end computer setup, it would like lag and glitch out constantly. And so I like saw clips and like watched people play the game during the first like month or two of it coming out. I'm like, damn, that looks like it sucks and is not fun to play because it's unplayable. And I had just heard nothing about it for however many years. And then recently, one of our mutual friends was like, I was playing, they were like either recently playing it or just talking about playing it in the past and like hyping it up. I'm like, what do you mean? Cyberpunk 2077, the buggy ass mess that's unplayable? What do you mean it's good? And I don't know if they knew about the history of it, of it being a buggy mess, but the version of it that they were describing was a fully realized complete game that was fun and you could actually play it and stuff happened. And so it got me like thinking like, wait a minute, what happened? Did I miss something?
Check it out.
Is this a different video game?
Different?
And apparently they fixed it, which is crazy.
They did.
That's absolutely crazy. So I played it recently, and I have to say it's a very, very fun video game. And it sucks that at launch it launched at in such a poor state because there's a lot going on in this game. I don't play too many games like this. Like, what would you?
That's
what's like the
you say you
what's
played
like it. No, yeah. What's like the GTA type game, like a GTA, like an open world sandbox where you could commit crimes and you're in like a city environment or whatever. And yeah, it's a Western RPG. It's a first person shooter. That's not my thing, except for Team Fortress 2. But again, it's like, I feel like they're still struggling a bit in terms of the RPG-ness of shooters. Like they're still trying to figure out like how to do that, because like Mass Effect attempts it doesn't really succeed. Like the best aspects of Mass Effect are like the dialogue and world building and main story, and then the gunplay is sort of like, it's okay, it's whatever.
I would maybe disagree there, but
you like it? You like Mass Effect's RPG systems?
2 and 3 and Andromeda all have really good game systems.
It definitely gets better as it goes along.
Yeah, the first one's certainly not. But yeah, I think it has enough to engage with it.
Okay.
But you are right, shooters have a harder time of engaging with RPG systems in general,
Yeah.
I think.
And this one, it does an okay job. It does a serviceable enough job where you could sort of like use your whatever skill point thingies to go into focus on one or two aspects of the gun gameplay thing. So the route I took was the shotgun hammer thing, where I just like shot a dude in the face to insta kill them, or hit them with a hammer to insta kill. By the end of the game, I had like a hammer that just fucking one shot everybody. Like it was nuts. So that was cool. That was fun. I like doing that. And like I almost didn't have to even like worry about at least on normal mode, I didn't have to even worry about like the RPG aspects of it. Like I just stopped paying attention to it because I got so like engrossed in like all the other content of the game. Like I just forgot like, oh, I'm leveling up and I get to use skill points to upgrade my character. Like I just kept playing it because it's really fun. It's got a really great story, and it's got a really, really solid flow of objectives that really makes you feel like you're living in that sort of cyberpunk city setting where you complete a story objective, then you get like an email or a call from like a friend. They're like, hey, I'm doing this job now, I need your help, come visit me. And you go do that, and on the way you get like another call or text from somebody else. You complete that job, and then immediately you're getting on the phone with somebody else like, hey, I need you here to do this thing. Like it's such like because there's a lot of objectives that are like, wait for such and such thing to go down, which like encourages you to go either explore the rest of the city or like tackle other side objectives and whatnot. So it's got an excellent sort of, I don't know, flow of objectives is how I'd describe it there. Which, maybe a lot of open world games are capable of doing that, but this one, because of like the city setting and like the phone, people calling you up, it feels like a more engrossing sort of system there. So that's nice. Annoying random complaints. The elevators are frequent and they take a long time. I understand you got elevators in the city, you get tall buildings. In this game, it's a bit weird though, because like imagine in real life, you go up to an elevator, what happens? You press the button to call the elevator up or like down to reach the level that you're at. So you do that, you wait for it to arrive, then you get in the elevator, and then you try to press a button to select the floor, but actually it's on a screen and there's no buttons, and the screen doesn't let you press anything yet. So you just stand there for like 5 seconds to wait for the screen to react, and then you could go up and down. Like that's how it is in this game. You just have to get in the elevator, and then you're already waiting for it to go up to reach you or down to reach you, and then you get in, and then you're already going to be waiting for it to go to whatever destination you want. But you're also just waiting in the side of it in the middle, looking at the screen to be like, okay, do the thing where you let me press you so I could go. But no, it like just doesn't immediately, which is weird. And I never have that problem in any other video game ever that has elevators. They just let me like, oh, I get on it, and then it lets me press the button to go up or down. Like there's no, I'm not standing around for 5 seconds in the elevator waiting to be allowed to select a floor to go to. That's not normal. So that's not really much of anything, but it's something. Okay.
I think in this case, it's a small.
Did you notice
it's interesting because well, yeah. Funnily enough, because I'm playing through the game right now, which is
no
why I think it's so funny that you're playing through it.
Way.
Because
that's
literally
nuts.
I just started it
How
like
could
2
you
days
take
ago.
so long to admit that?
So this is going to be really fun to talk about because I can discuss my experience with this game, because when you were talking about people playing it on release, guess who did that?
No
I
way.
did. And guess who
Wow.
had little to no problems with the game on release?
Really?
That was me.
On like your shitty computer?
On my shitty ass laptop that I had for college, that I was running everything off
That's
of.
nuts.
I was able to play this game with little to no bugs. I was able to finish the game. Had a pretty good time.
Wow.
I think I ended up rating it like a 7 out of 10 because it was
Sure.
fun. But as me, I was already a fan of CD Projekt Red, and I love the Witcher
Right.
series.
Yeah.
Witcher 3 is like one of my favorite games of all time. So I had high expectations for 2077. I was following
Yeah.
all of the trailers when they were
Yeah.
getting released. I remember when the very first teaser trailer, which was just like a 30-second clip of like a still, and it was
Wow.
like I was very much
Would that have been
invested
early
in this
game.
game.
School or middle school or what?
Yeah, yep. And I've been locked in on this game since then, because I've always liked cyberpunk stuff. I've always liked sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I like the developers, and I liked the game when I first played it. The story was a standout, but there was definitely elements to the game where it felt like there were things lacking. Like there was a lack of polish. There was some bugs that I had with like clipping and like stuff.
I
floating in
experienced a
weirdly.
couple also. There was one where I just fell through the floor somehow.
Yeah.
And died.
And like it makes sense. This is a very ambitious game.
There's a lot
It's
going on. There's a
huge.
lot of moving parts. There's a lot of variables, and I don't know. I don't know anything about game design, but the more stuff you include, probably the more likely that shit could go wrong. So.
Yeah, I think discussing those elevators, the elevators in every game are usually used as like a hidden load screen.
Oh, sure,
in
yeah, yeah,
Cyberpunk, it's interesting because you get to see the world in the elevators, so the elevators are a part of
In some of them.
universe instead of like a separate kind of load screen. But there's still loading that has to happen, so I think that's what's going on with the buffering, which is just
That could
it's
make
a-
some
it's
sense.
a stylistic choice. And then, yeah, there's other elements of the world that are equally as like kind of awkward. But this is I'm still early on my second playthrough, and things are very different now. The skill tree has completely been revamped. I
Really?
don't remember any of the skills from my first playthrough.
They didn't
in
have that?
This one. They've retooled a lot. Cybernetics are completely different. Armor, the gear system is all really different.
Okay. I didn't fuck around with that too much. I actually sort of forgot about that because I was just so engrossed in everything else
Because
going
you
on.
used to have to.
Oh, really?
You used to have stats instead of just like none of the armor now has stats essentially. There's
Well,
only,
they're very
like,
minor
a Kevlar,
effects.
yeah, like a Kevlar chest piece will give you armor, or like a gas mask will give you chem resistance or whatever. But in the first iteration of this game, All of the jackets, the pants that you had, each had unique stats that were tied to the level that or the rarity of the item. So
The actual clothes
they've
or the
definitely changed that.
cybernetics?
Cybernetics didn't have stats like that. Now the stats are handled by cybernetics, so they've changed a lot. They've
Yeah,
retooled a
damn.
lot, and it's really interesting to see. It's playing better for me just in general. It looks better and it's running more
Right.
smooth. The it feels better too. I played through on normal difficulty in my first game, and on this replay because I want to play through the DLC. I played through or I'm playing through on the hardest difficulty, and I like how it feels.
Okay.
It's kind of difficult, but it more so just encourages you to engage with the other systems, like
The hacking and stuff.
in order
Like
to
I barely
get
used that.
by on
I would
the
shotgun
larger,
everybody.
like the harder, some of the harder combat encounters
Yeah.
really make you
You have to
like you
dodge.
have to use you have to dodge, you have to use your quick hacks, you have to make sure to do your best to just whittle the enemy numbers down even before going out into open combat, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, using
it just
stealth.
the harder difficulties just makes me kind of feel like I have to engage with more of like I don't think I ever used grenades in
Oh,
my
really?
first
I
playthrough.
used them a couple times.
But they're very useful, and in a pinch when you're heavily outnumbered, having an AOE explosive is quite nice to have. So yeah, not much more I can say about the game because I've
Sure. You're
just
still
restarted
going
playing
through
through
it.
it.
But it's
But
good on
yeah,
the highest
it's
difficulty. Like that's what it should be doing. It should be making sure that you're using all the gameplay systems or
I
whatever.
think CD Projekt Red has a good feel for that because that's what I really loved about Witcher 3 and that game is the higher difficulties aren't necessarily so much more difficult, but they make elements that you would have ignored in like a normal playthrough
Required.
required or just like far more useful.
Okay. That's nice. What kind of character are you playing as in terms of
I went
gunplay?
Corpo.
Or
My first
background too.
my first playthrough was just a guy, street
Nomad.
kid, just like doing.
Oh, city person.
I was mostly gunplay. This one I'm trying to do Corpo with intelligence build, so I'm doing more quick hacks and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Quick hacks are really strong,
Yeah.
extremely strong, which I never really used in my first playthrough, and you never did. So it's
Yeah, well, you know what
interesting
also is
to
strong on normal mode? Hammer to the
hammer,
face.
right?
It's
Hammer
hammer time.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that the game was able to be revived. Obviously, I didn't have a bad time with it when I first played
Yeah.
through, but
That's
it's
nice.
interesting to see how far it's come because the whole yeah, you're absolutely right about on release. This game was absolutely trashed and dunked on. People were like, "Oh, I'll never trust CD
What a
Projekt ever again,"
letdown.
because
Yeah.
this is like the first mediocre game they've released. Which it was only mediocre because it was buggy. Like the actual game at the center of it
That
is really
exists
good.
yeah,
The
it's
world
awesome.
is so cool. I'm really taking my time with this replay because just it's such an immersive city to live in.
Yeah, the environments are very detailed.
The choice of first person, I remember my first playthrough, I didn't really get it, but it's pretty quick. You're kind of caught up in it, and it's just it places you in the world in such a like a visceral way and an immersive way that it makes you really engage with the world around you and the NPCs and all the side
Yeah.
objectives. It just makes the city feel so alive. Yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite gaming cities and like environments to
No,
explore
yeah.
in general. I think really
It's
really cool.
got
I love how vertical it is. Like there's so many ways to get around, and it's not necessarily just drive from point A to point B. You can take the elevators up to the top of towers and just like jump. There are ways that you can
yeah.
uncover like I love the double jump that you unlock later on in the game and the various different traversal uh, skills that you get make it
Yeah.
so much fun to just kind of like free run around the city. You don't even need a vehicle because you can just be a coked up cyber psycho and just run around hyped up on a
I
bunch
love
of
that term, cyber
cybernetic shit.
psycho.
Yeah, it's a fun world. The lore of cyberpunk and all of the different sci-fi and corpo tech is all really really fun to engage with.
Yeah. I beat this game and also the DLC. The DLC is awesome.
Nice.
The Phantom
Yeah, because
Liberty main
I've heard a
campaign
lot of
story
good things
missions.
about it.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
That's when they got a. So they had over the course of 3 years, they got the DLC put together and patched most of the
Wow.
bugs. By the time the DLC came out, I think everything was like,
You
okay,
fixed
we're
pretty
we're
much.
at like the base game level. This is how it should have been when it was announced and when
Yeah,
it
that's
dropped.
unfortunate. That whole
Um,
thing with that.
yeah, but hey, I think at
Now we're
this
here.
point the game has like gotten like almost a renewed life. Like people are talking
No,
about it
yeah.
and kind
Yeah.
of reanalyzing it and being like, it's a really good game now.
Uh-huh.
So I'm glad that they were able to at least salvage, because it does feel like this game obviously it's so big, it's so ambitious, there's so many systems in it, it's obviously very polished now, but just imagine the game without that polish. There's still the really interesting game at the core of it that, you know, if it hadn't been allowed to percolate and be reiterated on and
Mhm.
patched and tested, it would have been really interesting to see just how it would have fallen to the wayside, maybe, even though it was obviously such a kind of inspired project to begin with. Like, it definitely feels like they love the source material and the city and just the idea of being in such a unique environment.
Yeah. They really make you feel like a cyber psycho or whatever. It's a very good, like you said, setting, and the V as a character is a very good
Yeah,
protagonist.
yeah. The
And
story is
the
really
Johnny
fun.
Silverhand aspect of it, I love that archetype. I don't know what you would call it, where it's like a schizo,
Yeah,
like a person in your head sort
yeah,
of thing. It's a really fun iteration of that, and I don't necessarily love Keanu Reeves as an actor, I guess,
yeah. Neither
but I
do I.
think he's very good in this role. I think
It's one
it
of
suits
his
him quite
better
well, and
roles.
it's yeah,
It's I do still feel like it could have been a different voice actor and it would have
sure.
been better, just
Oh
because
yeah,
I don't
probably.
know if his delivery sometimes is just way too dry. And it's like, bro,
No,
feel
yeah,
something. Like,
I totally get that, but I almost didn't like. I don't know. Maybe the fact that it's a video game and not a film, I'm like more accepting of it.
hmm
Maybe
yeah,
I don't know. But I did
he does
enjoy
really
his
work
character
as
a
like
lot.
a buddy, like a shitty buddy cop kind of
Yeah, like he hates
dynamic.
you
Like he
and is
hates
a
you, you
not very
hate
nice
him,
person.
but
He swears, he
yeah,
cusses a little bit too much.
it
He
does
drops
cuss
the
a
f
lot.
bomb. The writers dropped the f bomb a little bit too much, uh, which borders on like I don't know millennial writing Reddit
Yeah,
fuck, like shit like that. Um, but overall, for the most part, it's good
yeah.
in
Glad you
terms of that.
checked it out. Glad you liked it. I
Oh yeah,
can't.
no,
Of
it's a
all
fun
of
video game. Peter, I like
the
video
random
games. I just
RPGs
don't
you could have
usually.
checked out, I
Hey,
would never have expected it to be
bro, it's a
Cyberpunk
new game that's
2077.
popular that people love. Why would I
New
not play
game
this?
came out
It's a new game, bro.
6 years
It's
ago.
been birthed anew. Okay, like you said, with
That's
the
true.
when the DLC came out and all the patches existed, like it got me curious. So it was
Yeah.
under my radar for the past however many, maybe 6 months now or so. That's how I was sort of waiting
hmm
it for me to have an open slot of real life time, and the game goes on sale, and then I play it. So it was fated, okay, but I'm not done talking about it though, because I have two more minor complaints. Okay, so for the dialogue options, I don't know if you noticed this, but you'll get dialogue options. And what I would do is I would use the mouse wheel to scroll up and down to select things. But what also happens is if you press W or S, which is moving forward or back, that would also determine the dialogue options. Um, while moving forward or back, while you have dialogue options, also determines the directions that you move. So I would be wanting to talk to people and move around, but then I would like change the forward or backward movement that I would be going in, and then it would like select a different dialogue option. So I think only one time where I accidentally selected the wrong thing, I don't think it mattered at all. But like it's weird that it lets you do that. Like you already have one method of selecting them through the mouse scroll wheel. Like why also and you're already using the WASD for movement, so like why map the movement keys? Like it's just awkward because like even if you select as that and are not moving around, like you still move up when you select the up dialogue option, and you still move back when you select the down dialogue option. Like, it's weird. And I'm sure there was a way I could have mapped out the controls probably to like not
It's
do
so
that.
interesting because
I just didn't fuck with it, I
I've
guess.
like never. I would always just use mouse, just
You just
click the dialogue.
were
I
you
would
never
never like
moving?
scroll or
Were
like.
you never
Uh,
moving
First of all,
around?
now I'm playing on controller, so I don't have
Oh,
that issue at all.
you're playing a
Because
controller
you could
for a
just use the
shooter,
D-pad to
first
change
person
things.
shooter.
Yeah, and it feels good, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Do you have
And
gyro or no? Or are you just
no,
using the stick?
no, just
God damn.
raw stick. I did
Damn.
play through mouse keyboard for my first playthrough. And yeah, I didn't have the same issue that you had. I think just because I used the mouse to click my dialogue options. I would never use like the E button to
Well, I would.
like
It's W and S, and I would
or
never use it either.
F.
But like, I'm
Yeah.
moving around. You know what I mean? Like, I'm moving around anyways, and it also adjusts the dialogue option for some reason. Like, I don't know why they would map it to both. Like, just keep it on the dialogue on the mouse wheel. But whatever, man. And the other thing is in the DLC specifically, there's like this underwater section. It's not super long. Excuse me. It's not super long. But like it's got that annoying video gameism where it's like, okay, I'm going in a direction. I'm in this area now. The devs want me to do this one specific thing. I'm going around this small area over and over again. And oh, 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I realized, oh, there's this one part of it that I did not examine close enough. So that's the part. That's the thing that the devs wanted me to do. And I never really liked those. They're sort of, I understand, hard to avoid for video game development because what you don't want to do is do the complete opposite of that, where you're Persona 5 the Phantom X objective here, go here, player, go here, and then go here. That, you know what I mean, like over and over again. So, but it's a side effect of being a bit looser in your direct commands to the player. You're inevitably going to get that, oh, I'm lost for 5 minutes in this not very large area where surely there's something I can do, but I don't know. Because the other thing is with a game like this, I don't know if my game's bugged or like if someone fucked up is happening or if I'm just
Hmm.
legit not doing the right thingy. And, you know, in those cases, it happened to be I'm not doing the right thingy, which was specific, but, you know, whatever. Other than that, like we said, the game is very fun and nice. You'll maybe encounter the occasional bug or so, as you will in a lot of non-Nintendo games, because Nintendo's quite good at not having bugs. I guess they're noteworthy at that. Um, but anyways, it's a very fun game, and yeah, I'm curious to see what your takes will be when you beat it and also play the DLC, because the DLC is pretty awesome. Like I said,
I'm excited to. It's essentially playing through a game that I've already played through, but it's like a
a
different game
first time,
because a lot of the systems are just completely new, and
yeah,
it's really fun to figure out what they've changed, what is still the same, and like
no, yeah,
how they've improved on it.
oh yeah, that's our take on Cyberpunk 27D7 for now.
Takes us to the end of our video games, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now, music update, music corner. Let's get started with the new Harry Styles album.
You want
It's
to
all
send
the
me these
time.
thingies,
Oh yeah, disco
please?
occasionally. Um, this is his latest album after Harry's House, and this is a fun one. It might be my favorite from him. Great production,
Harry
much more
Styles.
in the
Oh,
Middle
okay.
East. And it's a project that has a ton of different artists involved and different bands, and everyone brings their A game. All of the songs on here are a lot of fun, energetic. It really runs the gambit. They're great covers, kind of softer and sadder stuff, and then high energy stuff. It's really a interesting project and definitely worth checking out. Another album from Grace Ives, Girlfriend. This is a really fun kind of alt pop, synth pop, almost bedroom pop adjacent, very kind of indie and twee and fun. A lot of great production, really catchy and kind of interestingly processed sounds. The synths all sound super good on this, and Grace has a really fun way of kind of crafting a song and using her vocals to really kind of create a really emotional and impactful song. Another album from Underscores, You. This sees the act kind of take it in more of an electropop dance direction. Really kind of straightforward, less indie and kind of avant-garde than her previous albums. But this one is probably her most straightforward and catchy. Really good songs on here. Probably the most accessible her music has been. But honestly, it doesn't feel like she sacrificed anything to get there. So definitely worth checking out. And finally, another comeback album from Robin, Existential. Obviously, most people know Robin from Dancing on My Own. Great song that has kind of continued to become popular throughout the generations. And this latest comeback album from her is pretty good. I'm not sure if it's as good as her albums that she released, in her prime, but this is interesting, relatively experimental from her. Does some interesting kind of avant-garde elements to this, although at the core it is just another kind of dance pop and electro pop focused album with great production and some really catchy tunes. Worth checking out if you're a fan of her or just looking for some solid and catchy pop.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, that takes us to the end of the music, unless Drew has anything to add.
I have one thing to add. Harry Styles is an annoying person.
You hate him.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It would be difficult for me to listen to his music, I feel like, because I would just be... He's obnoxious.
Too caught up on
annoying.
the fact that he's annoying.
I don't like him in the production of that one film with Olivia Wilde and what's his name?
Yeah, that was a mess. I remember hearing all about that. Florence Pugh.
Yeah, and Chris
Chris
Pine.
Yeah.
I was going to say Chris Pine, but that's not right.
Yeah, what a mid movie.
Oh yeah.
Funny that there were so many consequential and confidential and conflictory experiences coming out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's not a nice dude, and he's
his
very
music,
performative.
His music is definitely better than any of his acting roles that he's been in.
Well, that sucks that he makes good things and is not a nice person. But hey, we on Jupiter here we separate the art from the artist. So if you're not able to do that, then that's understandable. But typically, that's I guess sort of the mindset that we're both united on, with maybe an exception or two for each of us. But I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, books are also a thing, but not in my life this past month.
Not in your life. I've just got one to talk about briefly. Our book club course. We are checking out Harvest, written by Tess Gerritsen. This is like a kind of mystery thriller that takes place in a hospital. That's kind of the main crux of it. Is like it's written by someone who used to practice medicine, and so it's very kind of authentic to the environment of being in a hospital and working on patients. It's pretty fun. It's pretty short. It's also just kind of a page turner. You get really caught up in the mystery, and there's a lot of kind of cloaks and daggers behind all of the clinical facade that this hospital is kind of providing, but not much more to say about it since I haven't finished it, but I'm enjoying my time with it so far.
Okay. Can you please go to the Goodreads page of it right now? Because for me, the fucking summary is all in like, I don't even know, some sort of foreign
That's
language.
not uncommon. Goodreads.
Is that just how Goodreads is? It
That is
just
how
gives you the
Goodreads
wrong
is.
language summary?
Yep. Yeah,
Oh my god. That's nuts.
yeah, I'm surprised it's not. I'm honestly surprised it's the first time you've seen this because this is.
I just
not
haven't really
uncommon.
looked at the
It
summaries
is
because
so
most of the
annoying.
books, like I'm rating them because I've already read them. You know, I'm not necessarily using Goodreads to like discover more books. So I'm not usually reading the summaries.
Yep.
So this is just something I'm
I
noticing
don't
now.
know what's going on
Oh
behind the
my god.
scenes.
What
where
language
the
is it for
error
you? Is it in English?
No chance. I don't know what the
No
language
chance.
is.
Is it ever in English?
Yeah, sometimes for some of the larger books, it's definitely
This is
for like
hilarious.
more niche books. I think
Okay. Don
are
Quixote is in English.
it's in Turkish. My language
Oh,
is.
okay. Mine's also that, I guess. For lesser known things, I guess it 27,000 ratings is not high enough for it to be given an English
I guess so.
synopsis.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it Turkish in origin?
No, definitely
Why would
not.
it? It's so weird. English is the most common language supposedly on the entire planet. There's probably way more speakers and readers than Turkish.
Yeah,
That's
so
weird.
really, I don't understand
Okay.
Goodreads. I don't understand why they do the things they do, the choices behind things,
I
how it
don't understand
functions.
the developers behind it. I don't understand the user base and their average rating system. I don't understand anything.
I don't understand
All
why
right.
it's so popular, why it's the only book
Why no one
aggregating
else has
website, why
done
no one,
it?
there's nothing else for me to choose. I don't understand it.
We got to get people more. If we get more people reading books, then we'll get more book review websites, and we'll topple this monopoly that is
I have to
unruly.
hope and pray. Please make your children read for the good of
We
the
need an
book
English
aggregation
synopsis of
websites.
Harvest, please, on a rating review site, please. Anyways, that's funny. Um, yeah, that's the book section though. On the YouTube, I have one item to bring up.
I don't have anything, so why don't you
Oh
take it
man,
away?
well I will say stuff then. There's this channel called Masahiro Sakurai on creating games, and if you cannot tell by the
I
self-explanatory
wonder what it
YouTube
could be
name,
about. Yeah.
so Masahiro Sakurai, he's a cool, interesting dude in the video game landscape. He was the director of a lot of early Kirby games, and he directed I think every Smash game, as well as Kid Icarus Uprising and like some like old puzzle game thingy. Anyways, he's got a lot of experience in video games. He also has a lot of experience with like YouTube video making. He's not necessarily the dude editing stuff together, but he is in charge of the video uploads, and he does a lot of those like Nintendo Direct thingies for like the Smash games or even like the Kirby Air Riders when that was releasing. So these YouTube videos, they have that same sort of style to his video making, and what they focus on is game development. So if you are interested in video games at all on like a beyond surface level, if you are sort of interested in the behind the scenes of what might be going on in that, then I highly recommend his channel in general. He has this one playlist that's just called Uploads, and it's just every single video on the channel in order. I'm watching
Nice.
through it right now. I may be only like 20 episodes in, and it's just very nice, well made, very short and digestible videos. Like on average, the video length is maybe 5 minutes, and they're split up into like when he was releasing this at the time. I think it was every day for, or not maybe not every day. He would skip maybe some days or some weeks or something. Um, but it was set up, I believe, in like a weekly format. So like each day of the week is like a different topic. So like one of the things he talks about like being a creative director and like being like a manager over people. And then one of them he's talking about like the concept stuff behind games. One of them he's talking about like the audio. And one of them he's talking about like just a random idea each time. So he's able to like focus in on like each sort of different aspect of the game creation process. And a lot of the things he's been saying so far is not necessarily like the most revolutionary, oh my god, I can't believe this thing happens behind the scenes in video games ever. But it is just like, oh no, duh, of course that's a thing that happens. Like that's not a thing that I've necessarily considered, or maybe it is something I have considered, but it's done in like a different variation of what I had imagined it to be. So it's a very good and concise, set of videos explaining that whole rundown of things. And he's also not afraid to shy away from like the uh, more darker sides, or like the more grounded, realistic sides of video games, because a lot of people have that expectation of, if they want to become a game developer, then they will only end up working on games that they actually enjoy, which is not the reality for most people. So he like talks about sort of stuff like that as well, which is important, I will say. So again, I'm not even anywhere near close to being done with this. I'll probably be watching this over the course of the next several months, just here and there, popping a video. Like if you got 5 minutes between someone, you just put one of these on, and they're a very nice time. So I would recommend this.
Nice. It's
Yes,
I obviously know him as a director, but he's relatively close-lipped and behind the curtains for the most part. He doesn't do a ton of press runs or anything, so I was never aware that he had
yeah, it's
a
mostly
YouTube
just
channel
those
going.
like directs, the like
Yeah, yeah,
Nintendo directs,
exactly.
and like other videos he's like appeared on YouTube. He's done like every once in a while they have like the panels where the game director's on like the chair thingy for Nintendo. They would occasionally, I don't know if they do that too much often anymore, but they, at least 10 years ago, they were doing stuff like that. And he even brings up some of like the moments like that where there's an episode where he's talking about the like input delay. And he's bringing up like the fact that like on this panel thing where they're presenting Smash, I think Wii U and 3DS, like the exact TV setup had like a slight input delay, and he had told the people working there to fix it, and they fixed it. That's funny. So it's a very good series on YouTube. It's very nice.
I have to check it out.
Yes, sir. All right. But that's the YouTube section end, which also means it's the end of the YouTube video. It was storming earlier. I don't think it's storming anymore, but there's going to be an awkward splice in the video. Oh no, our career has ended. We had our top 10 books released, which was our greatest videos so far, and then we're finishing it up with this one. Oops, sorry. Bye. Until next time.